Hello, hello. We have a few things on the docket today. Oh, the cat is... Okay, give me a second. The cat is trying to get inside. Can I help you? Oh, you're gone. Okay. He just scratched at the door and then left. He ding-dong ditched me. I'm gonna close the door. Close the door because there's a washing machine going outside. Hello, that was a good distraction. Thanks, cat. What's on the docket today? So, a few things. One, theater. Obviously, that's the title of the stream, but it's... Well, oh, sorry, it's in the thumbnail. Title of the stream. Wow, I did... What did I... Okay, I used my resin. Oh, yeah. I logged in a weird time yesterday, I remember. That's why I have no resin. So... That feels like that still feels like less than I should have. I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. We are going to collect some mushrooms. A lot of mushrooms. We need a lot of mushrooms. Because to be able to... Well, let's just go into the theater quick, actually. Of course, if you don't know, for some reason, theater requires 18 characters, which, yes, is being changed slightly next patch, but they're also adding a higher difficulty that requires more. Yay! Yay! So, they have not addressed the core thing that I don't like about theater. With 5.0, I think it'll be a more fun game mode, but also the core issue is the conjunction of both the total number of characters required to even start the challenge, even though you don't actually have to use the characters, which we should be able to see today. Like, I'm gonna have to level characters that I'm not going to use, which means, like, why do I have to level them, right? No, theater didn't reset. I just haven't been able to do the hard mode because I only have 15 selectable characters, right? So I already did the normal mode before because we had the normal mode was more doable without leveling 80 characters. But now I have to level. I leveled Lynette to 70 already. And then I have the materials, the boss materials for 3 more Hydra units. And the reason I chose to do Hydra units are just Barbara, Mona. Oh, frick me. Barbara's one of the opening characters. I forgot about that. Frick, I hate... Am I even gonna be able to do this today? Frick! I'm gonna have to, like, read the title and thumbnail of the stream. I frickin' hate this game mode with its stupid requirement. I forgot about the opening character thing. Because I leveled up, I farmed the materials for Barbara, Singcho, and Mona, specifically to be able to, like, have extra hydros. And the reason I chose hydros is because the next theater also requires hydros, so it, like, lowers the resources I'm gonna have to put into characters I'm not actually gonna use on Polearms Only. Oh my god, I might have to freaking, like... Okay, well, I guess we might just be doing a vibe... What do I... Oh, okay, well... Okay. I don't think there's any character I have that's a Hydro or Cryo unit. Or sorry, Animo or Cryo unit. That I have the resources to get to... I don't want to use my Fragiles. I'm not doing that. I want to save my Fragile. I don't even have that many, but I mean, I might have enough Fragiles to be able to get to level whatever. Or to do it today, but I want to save these for Kachina. I'm not using them. That's so stupid. I hate... Why? Right? Like, it's so... okay. To finish what I was saying before, let's just pretending that we were able to do this today, right? I only need 3 more characters. I just forgot that Barbara was a starting cast thing. And then... Like as far as, like, the resources invested to do the harder mode versus normal mode for the wishes, like the literal, like, 1 extra wish is not worth it. It would just be interesting to do because I was able to do normal mode with a little bit like of optimization around things, and it worked, right? But but then Emily released, and Emily's choosable here now, and, like, Emily could probably sweep through the last 2 floors maybe on her own, kind of thing would be the idea. So, like, I'm very confident the hard mode is doable, hence why I was like, okay, may as well try to put some resources into the units that might, you know, allow me to try the next theater too. Like, can't use the 1 character from a friend? No, you cannot, because Mihoyo is cringe and literally designed this like no. We can go do it. We'll level my. I'll go do it. I'll go level my other 2 characters, and when we'll be at a level Xingqiu and Mona, right? We'll be at 17 out of 18 characters, which theoretically you should just be able to choose a freaking unit from your people's friends list and use that. But no, you can't choose someone from your friends list to try because you can't get to the screen that lets you choose the friend list until you meet the baseline character requirement. You literally have to level up another character to even be able to use a friend's character. So it's so stupid. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, I didn't want to just be negative when I started the stream, but like, come on. It's so stupid that this is a problem. Like, why is there a level requirement? And if there is a level requirement, get rid of the number of character requirement, period. Right? If I want to bring in 1 character, well, not 1 character, you do have to have a minimum level because of, well, no. Honestly, even then, you could probably attempt to clear the theater with just the freaking opening characters, right? So, right? Like, don't have both. Why is there so many layers of restrictions in this game mode, man? And then stupid crap like this, where, like, I didn't think about the fact that Barbara was in this stupid trial thing. And now I can't actually try it, and I just wasted, like, multiple... you know how much freaking time I wasted farming the Oceanid just for freaking Barbara? And now that was literally pointless? Like, this just makes me kind of stubborn, and I just kind of, like, don't want to do it at all. Like, I was gonna do a chill, silly, like, co-op fun stream, right? Where I just went and, like, yoinked mushrooms from people, because... I needed to go and level like Xingqiu and not Xingqiu, Mona and Barbara need mushrooms. So Xingqiu, I just have enough to get to level 70. Sorry, I need 2 more silk flowers. It takes half a second. And then Barbara and Mona, sorry, use the exact same Philanemo mushroom. So the stream make was going to be like, okay, well, we want to complete the theater today in Polearms Only. But to do that, I'm going to have to go eat like 100 mushrooms, and that's going to take a while. So hence why like the thumbnail has a whole bunch of mushrooms and everything. Like, yeah, it's still shitty, but not wasted work. Yeah, it is. It literally is. These are characters I had to level that I do not use. I will not use because I'm a freaking Polearms Only account, and I can still clear the game. I can still clear the game mode with only Polearm characters. That means it's literally wasted resources on this account. It literally is. You can use her next round, maybe. I don't know what the choice characters are next round. I forgot to look up the choice characters. I wouldn't surprise me if Barbara is one of the choice characters again, the opening characters. So I'm gonna have to double check that before I even bother, right? Like why? Why is this game mode design this way? Like I'm glad they might make the actual like content within the game mode more fun, right? But like that was needed. It is needed that they are making like the buffs be like actually kind of interesting, hopefully. But then how about make it so like people can actually challenge the game mode and like, you know, use the character? Like I don't know, it's so fundamentally flawed. Like, and it's literally designed against like what makes this game enjoyable. As far as like, oh, you like a character, you put a bunch of resources into a character you like, you know, and you can use them the way you want to use them. And then this game mode is like, no, you don't get to do that. What? I just. Like, I just like don't. It just has completely killed my this stupid thing, right? Has completely killed my motivation to even bother the hard mode now. Right? Like I have to reward their cringe design by spending another like 2 days farming another character's boss materials now. Right? Double check all my animo characters, I guess, just in case I have some of the boss materials for some reason. No. And cryo characters, I should say. Like that's what I have to do now. Right? Like, it's so stupid. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna like go and retitle the thumbnail or something. I guess retitle and remake a thumbnail. Maybe we can remake the thumbnail live. I mean, I'm just gonna. I don't know. What do I? I could just retitle that this stream was going to be something different. Like I don't even want to bother like leveling the other. I don't want to bother wasting my time collecting the shrooms and the whatever right now because I just like I don't know. Am I wrong? Not just like have my motivation completely axed here. Like I just. What happened? What happened is that I prepped boss materials, farmed this stupid boss for like a week straight. Miserable boss to fight. The reason I fought this boss was, okay, I was going to level... I needed 3 more characters, right? I'm at 15 out of 18 characters for the thing, for anyone just recently joining. I have 15 out of 18 characters on Polearms Only to challenge the hard mode. We're not going to use the characters, obviously, because it's Polearms Only, but I need them leveled to select them because yay, theater. And then I went into theater to go and show that and talk about it, and then I noticed, oh, Barbara, one of the 3 Hydros that I farmed the materials for, and the reason I chose Hydros was because Hydro was in the next theater, so it made sense to choose the Hydro units over the other units to level, because it would be more resource efficient, like contributing to characters I can use in the next theater, not use in the next theater, but select to even challenge that, like, so stupid. And now it just like completely kills my motivation to even bother, right? Like I was motivated to do this in the first place because of the fact that Emily is releasing, because of the fact that I completed the normal mode, right? Which is like the 6 out of 8 acts or whatever, without Emily. And then now that Emily released, she's selectable in it, right? And I was like, okay, I think the hard mode might have been fun to try, right? With Polearms Only. Like it would have been fun, I think. But like I just like it's just like completely immediately killed my motivation. Just because I didn't realize that Barbara was in there. I just forgot about the aspect of if a character is an opening character, you don't want to level that character. I forgot about that aspect, right? And I just chose Hydros because it made sense to choose Hydros because it was more efficient. One minor ass mistake, and now like I literally can't do it today unless I use my Fragiles, and I'm not gonna use my Fragiles. We're like a week away from Kachina. I'd rather save these for Kachina so I can use Kachina sooner, right? Yeah. Level Mika to 90 instead. Honestly, yes. I would rather level Mika to 90. I'm not kidding. Okay. Well, fine. We're gonna retitle the stream. Sorry. I was gonna go and faff about and call yoink your guys' mushrooms, but Mihoyo has killed my motivation. And like this aspect of theater is like it was not really addressed in my opinion in 5.0. Like yes, they reduced the character requirement except for they introduced a new harder mode, which could be more interesting, but the new harder mode requires even more characters. It requires 20 at minimum. Like come on. And still has their level requirement, right? Like if they remove the level requirement, fine. It makes sense like to do that. But like you don't need to have characters that's leveled up to be able to clear this content, right? You don't even need to use them because you can still just use your hyper invested characters anyways. You know, just why is it? I'm sorry for being negative, but like, can you blame me? I don't want to be negative. I wanted to have fun. I actually wanted to play around with theater. That's why I did this. I was motivated to do it, and then they killed it. It killed my motivation. God dang it. Oh yeah. What am I retitling this to? I had a different plan for this video. There we go. Okay. There we go. Retitled. And now we gotta do a thumbnail. Alright, let's go do a live thumbnails. I do have... we will do some things, by the way, for anyone just joining. I just, like, immediately leave now that I can't do what I said I wanted to do. I'm sorry. I need to do this event, which this will be... I think this will be kind of fun on Polearms Only. We'll be able to see some big old numbers from some of our characters. Might be able to do some, like, real large Arlecchino numbers or Emily numbers or whatever else. So... let's, I don't know, where do we want to take a... chat, decide for me, where do I take a screenshot? I'll take a screenshot with Emily still, I think. I'll just do my normal style of screenshot where I just have the character like standing over. I mean, I could just have her standing over Mondstadt, I guess. Have her stand on top of one of these things and then just look down somewhere. A Venti statue. Yeah, I could use a Venti statue. True. I've never done. Oh yeah, I haven't done Ankonomia thumbnail for a live stream yet, but I just choose whatever whatever I'm feeling, and I just pose the character, adjust the camera. This is for live streams. I do thumbnails a bit differently, obviously for edited videos. But I think the simple option. All right, let's see. You gotta like, depending on how the camera is positioned, you gotta like angle your character. Like if I angle the right, so if you would think like for a thumbnail, right? We just leave Emily like this. Except if I do something like angle it this way, it kind of looks like she's just looking over here, right? When I want it to look like she's looking over here, kind of thing, right? So I have to like adjust the angle in a maybe unintuitive way. So I'm gonna like do her more like this, and then we do. Let's zoom in a little bit there. This is actually not really a zoom. This is a focal length thing, which is different from zoom. But you know, and then of course no music. There we go. All right. I see. I think this works. All right. Oops. Print screen, and then let's see if OBS wants to work for capturing my photo editor. I have never tried to capture my photo editor before. Let's see. Live content creation experience. Let's see if this works. Wow, oh, okay, it kind of worked. That, yeah. Okay, you can't see all my, like, tools and whatever, but, you know, good enough. Alright, so, first of all, Control V, bam. Oh, look, it's a screenshot of chat. Okay, hopefully there was no, there should have been no, I didn't think about that before I pasted that screenshot, in case any information was showing that I didn't want shown. Think I'm fine. Oops, let's adjust this a little bitty. Alright, oh, I didn't do what I normally, there's a function to blur the background in game. I normally do that. Oops. Let's tweak it maybe a little bit like that. There we go. See? There we go. Perfect. Perfect. And then we do some text. Oops. Wait, no, it's not. Where's the white? I prefer white normally. Oops. I guess we are doing oops. Oops. We doing something different. Wait. Okay. If I can't have the apostrophe on doing and not have it on something. That would be not having it on either is fine, but not having it on one and not on both is a bit silly. Oops. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, it could have been oops and no mushrooms. I wish. Yeah, that's true. You know what? Well, whatever. I don't feel like typing anything in anymore. Whatever. Okay, you can't see this pop-up window, because I'm doing application capture, not screen space capture. But watch, you get to just magically see things change. Just that. Do that. And then do it again, but with an angle. Blam. How exciting. This is the stream content you came for, right? Right? This is what Mihoyo has given to you. We were going to do actual gameplay things, but Mihoyo decided to design their gameplay in a way that made it so I literally couldn't do the thing I wanted to do. Oh well. And then the all-important, what color did we choose for the highlight color? You know, We can do anything we dream of. Well, I mean, not we dream of, because I'm not gonna do anything fancy like a gradient. I'm just gonna do, you know, whatever. Pink. Pink does make sense. How about a pale pink? I like a pale pink for this. Yeah, I feel like whenever Emily's on screen, I like pale pink. All right, that seems good enough. And then we give it a little bit of drop shadow. Which actually in this instance, because the background is pretty dark, barely even matters. But there we go. Alright, save as. Stream. I don't know. New. File names, man. I don't know what to name something that I'm going to delete after. New stream thumb. There we go. No, I don't need to save it as a important thing. Okay. There we go. Live thumbnail making. Done. Very simple thumbnail, obviously. Oops. Go back to the game. Hey, look, it's daytime. How exciting. So yeah, no co-op stream because Mihoyo decided to deny you guys of that. Sorry. I was going to do theater. I was actually looking forward to it. Mihoyo decided no. There we go. Updated. Bam. Alright, no longer false advertising, because now I'm advertising basically nothing. So, yay. Okay, so yeah, the plan, I guess, for this, I also, like, would've, I did this event, yesterday on my main account, and I would've saved that. I don't know, we can still do it, or we can do other things, I don't know, we can do any number of things. I got plenty of things I can do in the game, but it's just, I don't know. Just like, like, I would like to say like, oh, like obviously I could just spend a couple days farming for another character and still channel the theater, but I just like it completely has killed my motivation at this given moment to even care, right? Because I wasn't doing it for the one wish, I was doing it because I wanted to, and then ran into the road. I don't know. I feel like, man, 112 resin is like exact perfect amount of resin that feels like I've got nothing. So, anyways, let's, what about Simulanka? Yeah, I do need to do Simulanka, particularly on my main account. The only thing I haven't done on Simulanka on this account is the Kirara quest, because I just don't want to do that again. I've completed everything else, though, on this account, so I could definitely use more resources on my main account to just do, like, more exploration thingies. Whether in Simulanka or otherwise. So, I got plenty of things I can do for this stream. It's just, you know, not what I wanted originally. Forgot to refill my water bottle too, which might be a problem, but we'll see. Also, I just noticed YouTube's on top chat. I could have sworn I switched that before, but maybe I didn't. Food delivery, I think we'll pass. Alright, there we go. Updated the live chat. What did Mihoyo do? They made it so we can't do theater. Because Barbara was one of the selected characters, and I didn't realize that beforehand. You could say L on my part, but I say L on Hoyo's part because, like, why design this thing with so many layer of restrictions, and then, like, when the restrictions aren't necessary to actually complete the game mode, they're just completely arbitrary. I don't know, what am I doing? I can't even... Okay, this is a perfect awkward amount of resin, because it's stupid and it's not even enough to complete my dailies. Why Mihoyo? Why so many layers of restrictions to theater? So yeah, I don't know. I can't say I'm happy about the fact that they haven't addressed what I see as the core issue with theater. Yep. Anyways, it's weird that the last resin completes the last 2 days. Like, you only need to use 120 resin, if I recall, to consume, assuming you have the long-term encounter points. So this system's convoluted too, but, you know, assuming you have the long-term encounter points, you only need to use 120 resin, if I recall. And of course, I do not have 120 resin. Oh well, I could use my transient, but I'd rather save it. So, you have 937 points. Oh, rip you. Just an FYI, those go away in 5.0. Then they go away. So, like 937 gives me the vibe that you did like the entirety of the story. It's again a part of the thing. Like, it's weird that they did it like this, because it's like, okay, it removes a motivation for me to like do a bunch of like story content on my main account, right? Because I could like use the resources on my main account, but the fact that I won't get long-term encounter points that are relevant in the actual long-term, because they only stay on a per year basis. Yeah, stored long-term encounter points will be reset with certain versions each year, which is on the 0.0 versions. So, but like, yeah, you'll get more from exploring Natlan. It's just like, I just don't get why. What's the point? Like, why punish someone who just like started playing your game this month and has 1,000 points, right? I don't get it. It's real dumb. That's all. I fear for real. I stopped playing any story or world quest because I'm saving counterpoints for Natland. Yeah, like I should be like doing more story and exploration on my main account. I've been saying how I need more resources on my main account to level more characters and whatever. Like I would like to have the amount of heroes wits and more I have on Polearms Only, right? Like this amount, where I could level like at any time I could level like 4 characters in 90 if I feel like it. Having that flexibility would be really nice on my main account, so I'm trying to like get to that point, and doing exploration would help me. But then they keep doing things like this that make me like, oh, well, it's better to wait. So, stupid. What's the points for? The points are for making it so you don't have to do daily quests. You literally just use your resin, your dailies are done. Like, it's so nice to have them because, like, Polearms Only, the experience for a couple days has been, like, if I didn't feel like using my resin, I could, like, log in, condense my resin, claim dailies, log out. Like, it's really nice to have the flexibility to do that at least, like, every other day or so after you have spent, 10 hours playing the game a couple weeks ago. That's the idea, right? The time you spend in one day can be time allotted towards daily completion later, right? Without requiring the same, like, time-wasting investment of whatever completion of anything. So, it's a good change to the game. Just weird and convoluted in its implementation. Do I need these at all? I don't think I do. No, I don't need these on my Polearm account. Don't need them. Okay. What are we doing? Yeah, completely lost focus now. Oh boy, this is a normal stream. Basically, it's now just a whatever stream for me. I guess we'll go here because I have the 2 condensed resin. I have nothing else to spend the resin on until 5.0. I will be farming the new domain. Because, why not get Kachina to have as good a build as possible? And then there's also a chance I might need them for a future Polearm character. Maybe. We'll see. So, I don't intend to spend a lot of resin in the new domain on this account. Because it just doesn't seem that relevant. So I'll probably end up switching back to this domain eventually. But until 5.0, spending another weekish of resin here. How do you get that many heroes wits? By playing on a Polearm Only account that doesn't level that many characters. Like, this account is multiple years old. Like, it's getting towards 2.5 years old, right? And I only level Polearm character. Well, okay. I level Polearm characters and characters that I need to attempt the theater. Because Mihoyo things. But before theater, I never leveled any non-Polearm characters. Oh. That might be an onset piece. So, like, yeah. Like, you end up getting a surplus of resources if you only, focus on a particular niche of characters, basically. I mean, my Arlecchino damage would be pretty significant without C6, to be clear. But, we can turn off C6 if we want. What are you in this domain? What do you mean, what? If you meant to use Y there, Gerato. The Y is because there's nothing else to spend resin on. So, yeah, Madam Ping, maybe we'll use a new artifact set, who knows. Wow. This could actually be an upgrade from Arlecchino. We'll see. It'd have to roll really well. We'll see. Wow. What about weapon? What do you mean weapon? What? What do you mean what about weapon? What are you asking? I'm confused. Because I'm so confused. Okay. Wait. I'm actually kind of more interested in this timepiece for Emily, potentially. I think for the artifact stat selector thinger, I will probably. Wow. Okay, I just got 2 double crit timepieces, one for Emily and one for. Wow. This is the okay. So this is the first double crit attack timepiece I've seen on this set. Originally, what I was considering for Emily was trying to, because I'm using an onset goblet and this offset timepiece. So I was considering just trying to get a, you know, double crit goblet for her. But now, wow. Okay, so also let's see what the last stat is on this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. So, yeah, this could be a big deal for Emily. Because, well, okay, not right now, because I actually don't have very good Dendro goblets. But it would give me much higher potential to improve her build in the future. Yeah, like it wouldn't be that much of an upgrade for Emily. Like I could switch Emily if that rolls like equivalently for Emily. I could switch her from this Dendro Goblet to like this Dendro Goblet and gain like an attack percent roll and a tiny bit of crit rate. Right? Like not that significant because I just don't have a double crit Dendro Goblet. But it still would be very nice to have the option. So it would be preferable, obviously, if this rolls well, right? So yeah, I guess say goodbye to the 30% defense piece. wait. Do I follow garbage in, garbage out theory? All right, okay, garbage in, garbage out theory, or do I feed bad piece into hope for a good piece? Because garbage in, garbage out theory would be I put a garbage piece in and I get a garbage piece out. Like if I put this piece in, it's gonna roll entirely into ER, which is like a useless. It's like ER is actually not preferable for Emily in my context. So garbage in, garbage out. Yes or no? Garbage in. Follow garbage in, garbage out, or no? Which is just a question of do I feed this or do we feed this? And if I feed this, I'm probably gonna have to use some bottles, which is fine. It's a good Yun Jin piece. No, it's not. I don't know. There's no reality where my Yun Jin is switching to a crit rate circlet. Like yes, it could be, but like no. No. Also doesn't even have ER, and like that's the main thing Yunjin needs. Like that's the only problem with my Yunjin build is she needs, like I would actually like to have her have 20% more ER. So switching her to a piece with less ER, no. Albedo piece, he's not a polearm. So aren't you supposed to save artifacts with a new crafting thing? I don't no. I don't need that new crafting thing that badly. But like yes. But you gotta remember you're getting a bunch of I feel like people are thinking you just get that resource from just throwing old pieces away. You don't. It's also not going to be the wisest thing to just immediately dump artifacts into progressing to get like one copy. Like I think it's limited from what I can tell. Like it's one of the thingies of the currency you need to craft a custom artifact. Every 3 weeks, and it takes like the equivalent of I think 2 or 3, I think towards 3 level 20 artifacts, 5-star pieces to get it. Like sometimes that fodder would be better served for you to dump into a level 0 artifact, like for the chance of a level 0 artifact leveling up really well, rather than dumping it into 1/3 of one piece of a thing that can go towards a stat selector for like it's 1/4 of a goblet, right? So like the conversion rate is not very good for the resources invested. So like honestly, in my opinion, the main factor in how relevant the stat selector thing is going to be is how generous is MiHoYo for the stat selector thing that doesn't require like how many of them are they going to give through like Natlan exploration, right? Because if you get like 10 of them through Natlan exploration, that's sweet. That's 2 like goblets, right? But if you're just relying on getting them through the XP thing, that's really bad. And like there's going to be people that dump artifacts into that XP thing for like the one currency that should have probably used that XP to do other things. And they're going to slow down the progression of their account because they're over prioritizing just getting like crit substats or whatever versus just leveling their existing pieces, right? Like it's going to cause that problem, I assure you. So I don't like that system, that aspect of the system. Don't overvalue the throwing away bad pieces. Like if you have a good artifact to level with your fodder, use it to level the good artifact. Don't just be like, I need to, where's the freaking artifact? I need to save it for, you know, like, I need to save this circlet specifically so I can dump it into getting 1/4 of a goblet selector thing. Like, no. If you have a use for the XP, use your fodder for leveling your existing artifacts first, right? Not towards that thing. Anyways, sorry. Like what? Like don't. Oh, there's the same story stick has always been. Where don't over prioritize your substats. It's the same thing when you can choose the substats. Don't over prioritize a system that's meant to be like a very like long term. You can over time. Like it's a good system that can mitigate the RNG grind, especially because one of the most miserable thing about Genshin's grinding for equipment long term is that you oftentimes wind up in a place of wanting one specific artifact to make meaningful improvements in the build, and that's what the new system can be for. But like you don't use that currency and don't start engaging with that system meaningfully until you get to that point if you want to use it best. Or if you're a low investment player and just want to use it to get like the right main stat for something, it might be fine, I guess, right? So anyways, what was the poll? The poll says yes to garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so we're not putting this in then. We're putting this in because this is a good artifact. I just don't need it. It's not good enough relative to other pieces. This is a good artifact, so we're putting a good artifact in, and we're getting a good artifact out, right? We're getting all crit rolls. Wow. But is it going to let us down on the last roll? It did, but it's still pretty dang good. I have so many of these freaking timepieces. Okay, I need to throw away some of these timepieces. They're so bad. I have so many like artifacts that just don't actually need to be locked on Polearms Only. At the very least, I can get rid of this. This is now pointless. This is very good. It's not an upgrade for my Emily right now, though. Reason being is because like I have this piece, right? So you know, if it switched to the onset timepiece, I just lose a crit damage roll, and like if I had a better Dendro Goblet, absolutely this could be better. I mean, okay, I could switch to this, but you know, I don't really want to lose the crit rate, right? So, like technically, I could switch to this now, which is technically an improvement, but like not a crazy one, right? So I don't know. It's an improvement. So I guess I will. I may as well, right? Yao Yao. That wasn't an onset goblet. Yao Yao did not exactly need the most cracked goblet or anything. So, you know, she can be fine with this, I think, as long as she's not on Deepwood. Oh God, what happened to your equipment, lady? Why are you on this? What happened? What? why are you equipped with that piece? All right. There we go. Okay. Alright, so, anywho's, yeah, it's an improvement. Yay. Or I could use an... Oh, wait. I forgot circlets are a thing. This is an extraordinarily good circlet. But if I have a crit damage circlet, crit rate, and attack percent, that's similar amount of crit rate, but more attack... I mean, okay, Arlecchino's would be better. This would be better. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So, well, okay. The problem is that, yeah, it would require yoinking Xiangling's piece, which is probably not preferable. I mean, I could just give Xiangling this piece that I have equipped to Emily right now, right? It's not like Xiangling is losing that much, right? But is it more valuable than just, I don't know, sticking with this goblet? Like, what do we gain on this goblet? We gain like 2% crit rate and attack percent roll, versus what we gain on this circlet is a tiny bit of crit rate still, well, actually, basically, we're basically staying the same crit rate, but we gain more attack percent. That's the difference. So technically, it would be better, I think. I think we'll just leave Shangling on the other one. I think it would technically be better, though. We'll just use the off-piece Goblet, because the Goblet is still where I could improve her build the most, so that way I can just give her the flexibility to switch to something better. This is an improvement, which is cool. And to be clear, my Emily is already more than cracked enough that, like, this is not an improvement she needs, but it's really the only improvement she can realistically, feasibly have at this point. And now she has an off-piece, which is amazing. So, anywho's, yeah, it'd be better by like 40 attack, which does matter, but like, with Pyro Resonance here, you can see I'm already at 2400 attack. It's just like, it's like we're really splitting hairs as far as the difference goes with this build. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see if we get an Arlecchino improvement. This is my current Arlecchino piece. I don't think. Wait. If we're following garbage in, garbage out theory, I need to find a good piece to throw into it, right? This is like a decent piece, but it's not amazing. Like, I need to throw a good piece into it, I feel like, right? I'm gonna throw away this because it's just, well, I don't know. Wait. Okay, this can go away. This is also a good piece, but like, what the frick do I need this for? Like this piece has value just because it's attack percent main stat with a whack ton of ER, right? That's EM. Why do I have this? Oh, I know I had that. That was for the Arlecchino no crit build, yeah. Which I still have the artifacts for that. I still have the no crit Arlecchino artifacts. I could throw those away anytime, but we're not gonna throw those away right now because we gotta do. If I throw a garbage piece in, we're gonna get a garbage piece out, and I don't want a garbage piece. I actually would like to see an improvement to my Arlecchino build. It'd be very cool. Because the timepiece is the main thing that could be meaningfully improved in my Arlecchino. Timepiece and feather, but like the timepiece is hard to improve. All right, I think this is probably nearly the best piece I could throw in. Right, 3 crit damage rolls and an ER roll. This is a very good artifact, right? So let's see. Garbage in, garbage out, successful again. Okay, well, garbage in, garbage out worked for one. Worked for one and not the other. Of the 2 characters, I think I would have preferred this one rolled well, but you know what? It probably was technically, considering how unnecessary, it's even more unnecessary for me to get improvements to my Arlecchino's damage. So, well, okay. Well, that was artifacts. I mean, okay. Still, for 2 runs of resin, better artifacts than you'd expect. I want to emphasize, you know, that artifact could still be a usable artifact, by the way, especially, you know, for a character that's strong, like Arlecchino. Evaluate artifacts based on what you currently have. It's obviously worse than what I currently have, so it's going to get thrown in the garbage. Alright, indeed, it did dodge everything. If only it rolled entirely flat def at level to 20. Okay, so we got mail. Look, Farazan mail. How exciting. That was a little bit of a distraction. Okay, we gotta do our dailies, so let's like not forget that, otherwise I just won't claim them at all today. So let's go do 2 normal dailies for once. Just because I might not even remember to get my resin. I guess we'll do these 2. Did he well for Season's Arlecchino? Nope. I grinded for 60 hours for it. There were originally Topos spent, to be clear, to get a couple of the constellations. But that was for the video I made. What does X amount of dollars get you on her banner? And I would have had so the functionally, like, the money spent got me 2 additional constellations. But if I hadn't made like stupid decisions like the wishes on Shao's banner, for example, that I did at the beginning of the year, I would have had enough to guarantee C6 Arlecchino without spending literally anything. Yeah, without the top of, I would have ended up with C4. So, you know, I spent a lot of effort grinding out things. So, yes, if you count the one video I made, I guess that could count as whaling, but it wasn't, you know, a typical whaling of I'm spending money until I get C6, like the vast majority of people that go for C6s do. I do feel like I actually earned this one. I don't love that I spent money. Like I rambled a long time. I'm still kind of rambling right now about it. About how like I don't know how I feel about the fact that I spent money. It would have felt even better if $0 was spent on it, right? To be clear. But considering that the vast majority of Kino's constellation value is loaded into her C1, C2, C3, and I would have had that without spending any money, like, I'm more than fine with it, right? Because it just doesn't matter, and I can turn off C6 if I need to by just removing her circlet. So, not removing it, but reducing it. God, okay, wait, we can just do this. You can target, right? Yeah. Wait, this is just destroy the towers. I didn't have to do that. Okay, never mind. We'll kill him anyways, because he deserves it. Okay. I've earned C6 Chenha because of how long you've been waiting. Yeah. Yeah, they were fun exploration streams. Got very lucky during them. Like, it's insane that, you know, I spent 60 hours grinding and that was still very lucky. It's no freaking grind. Wait, why am I talking to you? I don't care. It's insane how, well, okay, that food's gonna go bad. It's mine. Wait, can I just eat it? Eat it and end this commission. There it is. Yum. Yeah, there we go. I forgot there was an achievement for that. That's the first time I've gotten that achievement. Any Natlan character you're looking forward to? I don't know. The ones that are interesting. The ones that aren't on-fielders, the ones that aren't on-fielders designed in the same way they design all on-fielders, which is, you know, with pretty restrictive kits and ways that they make sense to be used in. And to be clear, I think Mualani has the potential to be useful for me in that way if I end up liking her very short field time burst DPS playstyle. But I suspect I won't really like it that much long term because of her energy needs, making her relatively inflexible for doing that playstyle. But I gotta mess around with her though. So, you know, yeah, I'm most interested in the characters that enable interesting new ways to play characters. And will there be those characters releasing? Who knows? Did I already play my things? Other than that, it's just whoever seems cool. Like, as far as on-fielders, if they have a good enough gimmick, which I think the on-fielders in 5.0 do, you know, they can be fun and cool, and, you know, that's kind of it. But the ones that actually get me thinking about, like, the game and having the most fun are the characters that enable me to do things with other characters, rather than just be, you know, characters that have significant enough limitations that, you know, they end up with relatively little team variety, which is what most on-fielders are designed like. So, can you leave Mualani's E stay early? As far as I'm, well, actually, it's a good question. I assume you can, but I haven't seen anything saying you can't. Because in the worst case, I don't know if you can cancel it on purpose while she is still on field. But as far as I'm aware, you can like do her bite attack early, right? You can surf around on her shark and then do the bite attack early. And then you can just switch out, right? So the idea for a short field time playstyle with her would be to basically do your buff setup, use her burst as soon as you swap into her. Well, I think you'd have to go and press her E to get into her special state if you have her artifacts, and then press her burst. Otherwise, you won't have the crit rate buff. And then, you know, get the energy particles from her Sharky Bite. So if she requires, I actually haven't seen clarification on if you can't get her energy particles early, like if you have to go the full like 6 seconds to get her energy particles, that would suck. That would actually completely kill the playstyle that I want to do for her, which would be unfortunate. But anyways, if you can, she's technically the best battery in the game. I don't know if best battery in the game would be correct, but what are we doing? Oh yeah, let's do the event before we forget. But because like she still has a skill cooldown, right? I don't know. She has like I think a 6-second skill cooldown, but I don't know. It'll take some messing around with. I don't know for sure. Mualani has some more interesting potential for me. Kanich has a much more interesting gimmick onto his own kit. But I suspect I would get bored of him relatively quickly, right? So, anywho's, let's see. So we're on Polearms Only, just in case anyone wasn't aware and joined recently. Wait. What am I doing? Do this. We have Hydra enemies and then just kind of whatever after. Okay, so 2 options here. One, we could just like solo with Arlecchino, LOL, and see what happens. wait, can we just do that? Can we? Yeah, I know that event isn't hard. We're not just gonna solo with Arlecchino because that'd be silly. That's boring. Like, it's boring to do more than like once. Like, I don't want to go through the full event just soloing with Arlecchino. But if we can get max points just soloing with Arlecchino, it would be funny to me. Because I don't think there's anything with a pyro shield in this event. So I'm pretty sure you could. But anyways, the fun of this event is that not going to be soloing with other. You know, the fun of this event will be just getting some like big numbers on our characters, right? We should be able to see some really high damage from Arlecchino and others. We should use her burst more. There are pyro slimes? Oh, okay. Well, we can solve that problem. I mean, we're not gonna, okay, well, okay. We're not gonna solve that problem, because that implies we're gonna solo everything. Well, I don't know. If people really want to see, I'll let chat decide. After we go through the event normally, I'll let chat decide if we are going to solo through everything. If you really want to see me solo through everything with Arlecchino, we can do that. Oh, I just had another idea. I haven't, I outlined, I actually had Sylveon, I think, help me with some ideas in case I was missing anything, because Sylveon's more used to doing nuke setup things for maximum screenshot damage. I think it might be possible with my Arlecchino to get to 2 million damage on Polearms Only, like against the Wanderer boss. But, oops. But yeah, the Pyro Abyss mages might be the hardest to get through. But the thing is, it wouldn't necessarily prevent us from clearing, because you only need the thing would be like, okay, can Arlecchino just solo through everything? And I think for 5,000 points, right? Because you just need to get 5,000 points. So if we can't get through the mages, it just means you can't get through the mages, right? Can't even imagine your spears only without Arlecchino. I mean, that's part of the reason I did like the stream before where I didn't use Arlecchino in the Abyss. Like, I cleared the previous Abyss cycle before it reset, right? Without Arlecchino to prove that I don't need Arlecchino. I like using her. She's one of my favorite characters in the game. But like, I don't need her. I could be min-maxing things. By the way, like as far as like soloing Arlecchino goes, you can definitely try to min-max her much more than I am doing. I'm just kind of brain offing this now. The way you min-max her is by abusing her burst the most with C6, because you can use it to reset cooldowns. You can use it to like try to like have a higher average amount of bond of life total. Like C4 actually can like really be abused in conjunction with her C6 to do more damage. It's hilarious that when I see her leaks, I thought she was mid. Yeah, she was kind of never mid. They made her when they reworked her kit, like she got a major kit rework, right, with her cooldown thing. which I was very skeptical of at first, but then what it ended up being in practice was just really good. Like, it was a very good change. I would be curious to, like, try to play her before they did her, like, cooldown reset thing. Because I think her cooldown reset thing is a big part of what makes her so enjoyable to play. So her not having that, like, she'd still be a good character without it, I think. But yeah, I actually think they made her better through beta. Which was interesting. They obviously wanted this character to be pretty good. And by pretty good, I mean one of the strongest on-fielders in the game. I'd be curious to see if anyone's done some proper math on like the optimization of Arlecchino, because like there's some weird it's Arlecchino C6, I should say specifically. Right, because Arlecchino C6 does more damage based on her Bond of Life, but it consumes the Bond of Life to be able to, when you use it, right? So it's a weird equation of like, I'm not sure. I haven't done the math on been like, okay, where is Arlecchino, where's like the technical, mathematically optimal point to use her burst? Like, is it at this amount of Bond of Life? Is it more? Is it less? For the balance of like maximizing your like total average Bond of Life for both burst damage and your non-burst based damage, in conjunction with timing of cooldown resets and whatnot. Like, there's some really interesting potential like breakpoint like balances to figure out on a math level, with different factors to figure out like where it actually makes sense to use. I think nobody with C6 Arlecchino really does that because it's just so unnecessary to optimize anything with her C6. But it's still interesting to think about what would be optimal. So, anywho's. C2 is good for Arlecchino. Yeah, C1, C2, and C3 are her most relevant constellations. C6 is just interesting to think about, and it's fun, but it is really highly... Of her constellations, I noticed C1, C2, C3. I wouldn't, like, when I activated them, I wouldn't test them individually in this account. I noticed the increase from C1, C2, C3 meaningfully more than I noticed going from all the way from C3 to C6. All right, so... Anywho's, I think C6 Mabuika would be better than Arlecchino. She's probably not going to be an on-fielder, so it's not really a comparison, quite frankly, in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know. But like, she's probably going to have a constellation that like makes her on-field for 4 seconds, and then people think it's like, oh my god, typical constellation that makes you need to get C6 to on-field the off-fielder, and like, no, LOL, you can just on-field them anyways, doing different things. Like, the same thing you've always, like, I'm so tired of people thinking you need like C6s to be able to on-field, or like main DPS, whatever you want to call it, your on-fielder. Anyways, let's so yeah, the Pyro Slimes we could physical damage our way through, and then like Pyro Abyss Mages, we like this. If we solo through Arlecchino, we could. I'll see if we can solo through this, if you guys want, because the original plan of the stream is dead. It'd be very time wasting, I think. But let's actually use like normal teams, so we can do something interesting on this account. Do and see some big, I don't know, Emily damage or whatever. And Slander damage. Let's see. Okay, this is kind of Is Emily fine? Well, yeah, we'll just use Sino. We'll use the Sino Emily team here. It'll wreck through things. We'll do that. Actually, we might need Zhongli for somewhere else. We might put a different teammate there. And then we can do a ride in like Chevre's team or something, right? What's the monsters again? Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll do like a ride in Chevy team. Why not? We have to throw in someone else. And let's do an Arlecchino Vaporize or something. Maybe we could do Arlecchino Melt instead, actually. I guess we'll throw in Mika because all my other pyros are being eaten. Yeah, I mean, I could, yeah, we'll do like that. Okay. Let's choose attack percent, and then reaction bonus, I think, Attack percent. Probably this one, and then attack percent. This one, and res decrease. Let's go. My shell only level 87 because I leveled him to 87 very early on, and that is where he stays. We could have done bait melt, I guess, yes, but I figured full melt is more fun. Why not? Hu Tao is still good at DPS. Yeah, she's usable. More than usable still. Okay, well, not getting my things consistently because I either screwed things up or whatever else. Oh, by the way, I did 20 pulls. I don't know if it's Loifet's watching. I mostly used Loifet's like primos that they gave me on my main account a while ago. They said to like originally because I said I didn't want C1 Emily. They said just save them from Lilani. But I did 20 pulls on Emily's banner because I just decided, having used C1 Emily on Polearms Only here, I'm like, okay. I definitely notice in some of the instances I've tested the convenience of her scent gathering faster. Like, and on my main account, I like to play her even more in teams where she like may have meaningful benefit from her scent collection being more consistent. And I did 2 temples on Emily's banner on my main account yesterday or Saturday, I don't remember. I did not get C2 Emily or C1 Emily, unfortunately, but I figured 20 pulls was worth the risk. I'm still tempted to wish more, but I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't. Bad. It's bad. No, snap. Okay, well, I refuse to use Raiden to kill out Hilly Drills. Okay, this is so... Why all the enemies that get knocked away from the... Okay, Overload was a bad choice for the situation. What am I doing? We will ride and burst eventually. Sometime. What? Where? Oh, okay. Apparently not now, though. My 70k charge attacks on Hu Tao, though. Damn. I didn't kill you? I know I didn't, like, have her mode going there, but, like, come on. Well. Do-do-do-do-do. Why? Will we ever ride and burst? Yeah, let's ride and burst against these. Alright. Nice. Oh, really? Okay, he died. Well, I would... Okay, Chevrus was very inefficient here because of all the lightweight enemies that were, like, grouped together in a perfect way. As soon as an overload happened, they just all got anti-spread apart. Yeah. Does he have crowns to crown every Polearm character? I don't think like, if you're talking like, oh, can I triple crown every single Polearm character? No, they don't give you enough crowns to do that. But I don't know if Rosaria has the right build at all. But what was it saying? I don't know what I was saying. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, this team requires too much setup to actually be doing any of these things. And Mika got 1 second of screen time. Congrats. I probably should have just put Candace in here, because Candace would have given normal attack damage bonus and frozen things. Bam. Go, Mika. Well, look at that. 15k damage from Mika. Candace also would have transitioned in new ways better. Got your 8th rust. Wow, how exciting. Oh yeah, I was talking about being tempted to wish on Emily's banner. So anyways, probably not going to continue, because like I want Kachina copies, is why. But still, I like Emily enough. And I also don't really want to reward Mihoyo's behavior. Like they obviously have the data, they could see that. It'd be contributing to rewarding their behavior for design. Like I think her scent collection should have worked like it worked in C1. Like C1, the scent collection increase thing should have just been in her base kit. That should have just been how her scent collection works at a baseline. Like you have burning and it basically immediately gets her to level 2 versus the weird build-up time awkwardness she has. I do not like that they put that in her C1. It's a Hu Tao charge attack situation. Like C1 could still be very strong in like how it makes her passive trigger more often and it gets her a straight damage increase, but they could have just that one minor aspect of the C1 is what I actually want. I don't care about the damage increase. Because it would make her feel a bit less clunky to play on some of the teams I played her on my main account is why. So yeah. Anyways, I do not like it. And I kind of don't want to reward them for that, so I really shouldn't, right? I really shouldn't. I think realistically what I should do is I should like maybe go for it on a rerun or whatever, right? Assume, because then by then I'll know how often I'm actually using Emily. I suspect I still will use her fairly often, but I'll know by then how often I will use her, and if I want her to feel a bit less clunky in the same, teams, whatever. But yeah. Why would they give us a proper character when they could sell her to us? I mean, she is a proper character. It's just, yeah. Like, did they really need to make her weapon so push and give her a clunky aspect to her base kit that made in these situations you had reasons to get her C1, like in my situation, but like not that many. It's like, like her C1 is mostly relevant for the damage upgrade for most players, right? But like, which is exactly like, why bother then? Why do that? Why design it that? I don't know. She's still a good character with being a little bit clunky, to be clear. And her clunkiness can absolutely just be an aspect that makes her more interesting to think about in some ways. It is interesting to think about how you need to play her teams whenever considering using her, but could also be considered annoying and a significant downside to her. I don't know why I'm spending so long braining here. We'll do Chivalrous Raiden. Or Lucino, I guess. We'll do the Candace variation this time. And then Sino. I wish you could just like not have to select all your characters again in this event. I feel like I spend more time in the UI of this event than anything, to be completely honest. But oh well. I forgot to select this. That's normal attack bonus, right? Yeah. Or normal attack gives a damage bonus. And okay. Still not fixed. Should be 75, 25 for choice weapon. It's 37, 37, 25. I mean, the approach to the weapon banner. Oh, I can't actually go on the wish screen here. Crazy. The approach to the weapon banner should be the same as it has always been. It's just that you need less total wishes to guarantee a specific weapon. But if you want like the Genshin weapon banner in some ways could be better. Like literally open yourself up to the perspective of not just wishing on weapon banner just for one weapon, right? If you detach yourself from that mindset of only wishing for one weapon and instead wish on weapon banners that have 2 valuable weapons for you, right? Then it becomes a like because I can tell you in like Star Rail, like that the 75, 25 in Star Rail, or ZZ is gonna be the same thing when I might wish for like Jane's weapon or whatever. if I lose the 25-75 in Star Rail or Z to Z, it's basically losing to something useless. And that's whatever they're going to put gotcha odds there, right? That's the same thing. There's a 25% chance for a standard weapon in Genshin. And then 75% chance to guarantee, right? The benefit of having the 37.5 in Genshin is that if you're smart with it, right, you wish on a banner that has a useful weapon for you in other ways, then it actually makes it so that, okay, now you have a chance to get a weapon that could be useful. You're spending wishes that can give you potentially multiple useful things, rather than like in Star Rail or Zenless, where you can like, if you lose the 25-75, like it's just you get a bad weapon and then you spend like the same amount of wishes you spend in Genshin. Whereas like in Genshin, you have more common circumstances where you would spend 60 wishes, get a weapon that's useful for you, but not the one you wanted. Spend another 60 wishes with the new system, get the weapon you wanted, right? Whereas like whenever you like losing in the weapon banner, particularly with the new system, can be an upside in some ways. It can be not as much of a loss. Like you just have to approach it from perspective though of like wish on weapon banners that have two valuable weapons for you. Like your approach to the weapon banner shouldn't be changing at all. You should be wishing on weapon banners that have relevance to you in multiple ways. So like, I don't know. It's not like it's completely better to have less weapons on the banner because there's less weapons in the banner. Like I wouldn't have a lot of the weapons I have on my main account that are useful if they only had one weapon on the banner, right? Like, there's definitely weapons I've gotten meaningful use out of because there was multiple weapons on the banner. It's kind of my point. So, you know, but everyone just pulls for weapons because they just want, like, the drip weapon or whatever, rather than actually pulling because they're necessary in a meaningful way. So, I don't know. Yeah, like don't wish on the donut banner, exactly. Like, yeah, so it can simultaneously make some banners worse. Like, it can absolutely make some weapon banners worse by not just being 75-25, but it can also make some banners better, right? Now that they changed the system, to be clear. With the two fate point system before, it sucked balls. It was way too RNG and took too many wishes to get something of not that much relevance, right? We have a team, not just Arlecchino. I mean, I was also rambling, so it's hard to switch. Also, arguably, and like as far as like the time limit in this challenge goes, it might make more sense just to stay on Arlecchino versus like having to spend the time doing the animations and the other characters to buff Arlecchino more. It might just be faster to just continue whacking on Arlecchino actually, with Arlecchino CZX. Yeah. You got the cat bow instead of aqua. Cat bow? What is cat bow? What? I'm so confused. What is cat bow? So I should use my character's abilities. Zinni's weapon. Ah, I see. I forgot that they did an aqua, whatever. But I mean, that was still like, if you wanted a bow for Linny, like it's one of those things like you gotta again like the current banner, right, is a bad banner if you're just wishing for Yelan's weapon and you don't like if you don't get Emily. For most players, the current weapon banner is a bad weapon banner because of how niche Emily's weapon is, right? It's mostly just a weapon for Emily. So like it's a good weapon banner if you don't have aqua already, right? And can get use out of aqua. And you got Emily, right? It's a bad weapon banner if you just wanted aqua and aren't getting Emily, and don't have a niche use case for Lumideus, right? In other situations. So, yeah. Anywho's, don't wish in the current weapon banner. Like, if you want Emily's weapon, like, just freaking wait for a rerun, so you don't have to wish into the... Like, it's not like it'll be that much better, to be clear, and maybe there'll be... I don't know. Well, okay. Again, if you want Emily's weapon, and Aqua could be really useful for you, maybe it is better to wish in this banner, even with the system changing, because when they rerun Lumiduce, they might rerun it on a banner that is, like, has a different weapon that is, like, useless to you, right? They might run it with frickin', I don't know, what's a classic garbage weapon? Unforged, right? Or whatever, or Baiju's Donut, right? They rerun it with something else that is worse than Aqua for you, then maybe it is not worthwhile. We're just never using Raiden because it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, anyways, it's possible that this weapon banner could actually make sense versus versus getting Lumidu's Elegy on a rerun banner. Depends on your account, but you know, and depends how it goes. Yeah, you really gotta evaluate weapon banner on what it is on a holistic level, not on the individual weapon. No Outer Wild Sandra today. They're playing combat music in the background here. I feel like I'm kind of slightly surprised we haven't seen more damage from like Emily and whatever. Let's try the crit damage buff. I thought the res buff would do more, but whose signature is Unforged? I don't think it's a signature weapon for anyone. They just made it as part of like a series of weapons because they were doing that for a little bit of time with 5-star weapons. Is there no platinum in this event? I don't know. There might be. I wasn't trying very hard. Yes, I'll let you know. It's C6. No, and she's not willed. Anywho's, what, the burst skill and burst damage increase. Wow. Okay, we got Hydro enemies, and then yeah, whatever. Okay. Let's use. We'll use Emily team here. Arlecchino. Attack. That. This. I wish I didn't have to select these buffs again. Like, I wish it just, like, I'm using mostly the same teams, right? I wish it just remembered, like, oh, you're using the same team? Here's the same buffs. And I have to click all these things again. This team is, yeah, this team. And we'll choose the crit buff this time, see if that gets us some bigger numbers. Alright. I don't know if it will be more than the red shred, but we'll see. Yeah. Can I stop getting interrupted? Oh my god. Can I switch my character? Oh, he's already dead. I think you didn't even see them on the screen. Good job, Arlecchino. Like, I actually don't know if it's worth the animation time. I think it might just be better just to Candace and Arlecchino. Like, because it'd be faster rotationally. You're not dying. Oh yeah, I know why you didn't die. The hitbox is kind of goofy on Arlecchino burst. It targets in a way that, because I was standing between them, it only targeted one of them to the side. What am I doing this stream? Just random things that I feel like doing that I need to do on different accounts, because that's what Mahoya decided. I was going to do theater, but that ended. have unforged R5, Sylveon? Why? Oh, that's 134k from... yeah, oh my god, okay. Emily's damage is a little bit high. I should have ended the rotation early, I'm aware. I lost burning, but, you know. I wanted to continue Sinnoing. The little Y was so judgy. I mean, I was mostly just poking Glenn and Sylveon. If you do have R5 on Force Y, though, like, what happened? How many mistakes did you have to make? I mean, it's like the same thing, like, why do I have R5 or R4 Aqua, right? It's like, I didn't try to get R4 Aqua, I just got R4 Aqua. The reason I got R1 Aqua, like, I get it right, it was early game mistake, my monkey, stupid early game, only played the game for 4 months, overvalued weapons, didn't understand things properly, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, I got R2 Aqua because I was stupid and continued wishing after I got Aqua for the first time for some reason, and I got it, like, the R2 Aqua in, like, 20 pulls, okay, whatever. And then R4 Aqua was, you know, yeah, so... Alright. Can we actually have enemies live long enough to want to use a Ride and Burst? Let's see. Okay, I love you wasting time. Thank you, sir. Wow, nice 400k. That was satisfying. 400,010 damage, I think is what that was. Bye, please. Thank you.
Want to taste of my hammer?
Taste of your hammer. What do you think the flavor of the hammer is? Probably metallic, I'd assume. Well, I guess it depends on what part of the hammer you're eating. Part of it would probably taste a little bit like wood. And wood is edible. Metal slightly less. I mean, okay, metals in small concentrations are important. Some of them. Not all of them. Anyways. You're not alone, I have R3 Thundering Pulse. Yeah. I feel like if you play this game long enough, and as long as you, if you're completely free to play, it probably is less likely you get at this point, or it takes a lot longer. But you know, the longer you play the game, the more likely you are to just wish on some weapon banners over time, some number of them, and just letting it end. And you know, you end up winding up with some 5-star weapons you didn't necessarily intend to get. So, anyways. You want R5 Kagurus? Yeah, you just want R5 Kagurus for Lisa, which is a good reason to get an R5 weapon. Not really, but a slightly more respectable reason. Okay, let's. It's a Dia. I would love to use Dia, but she's not a polar. I'm sad. Okay. We have no meaningful element problems here. Okay. So use whoever on wherever. We'll use Emily first then, because why not? And let's try just our Latino Candace, and then we'll throw in 2 teammates we're not going to use with her. Actually, no. We'll do like... Wait, no, we can't do double pyro if we're doing our Latino or Shivers team. I guess we will not do double pyro. We'll do... Yeah, whatever. That's fine. So yeah, we're just going to use just our Latino and Candace there and see how it goes, right? Just like this every single time. Wait, that's not the right one. No, this one. Doot. Wait, after an opponent is hit by charge attacks, defense is decreased. That, I don't know. I feel like these are all probably pretty similar. Charge attack, okay, the character's attack is okay, well that one's interesting, but whatever. I think the crit damage buff for our characters is the best though. I think. Good teams for Dia? Oh boy. I don't know. The most relevant things you could do mechanically with her are probably with Nahida most commonly. Like you're more likely to have Nahida. You can do the same things with Emily, but Nahida is an easier combo to use. So probably Nahida plus Dia and do something with burning. That's probably the baseline template I'd say is the most useful thing to do with Dia. There are definitely other use cases though. It's 147k from. Okay, Emily. Let's do this. I feel like Emily is doing 90% of the work here. Hello, Pubia. I need to like try to put Emily's thing down in the middle so it actually starts hitting things as they spawn. Not that it matters that much. We don't really need to optimize this. Excited for Kachina? I mean, I don't know. I haven't actually like thought that much about Kachina on this account past like, you know, okay, the artifact set. I probably should have done that. The artifact set will give damage bonus and like she's going to be a buffer and having more buffer options is good. Unfortunately, they'll... like the main teams, existing teams, like she doesn't really enable any new teams, right? So it's just like, does Kachina slot into existing teams that I use on the account, and make them stronger, right? What? Hello, you're still alive. I don't know, right? So that will be the thing to figure out. And I don't know, we could take a look here, I guess, and after we're done with this, I just took my hand off the keyboard, and see what exactly that would look like. The core of like Zhongli plus Kachina is interesting to me, because it's double geo, right? You get some geo damage bonus, could potentially like actually get maybe meaningful damage out of both Kachina and Zhongli. With like the Zhongli microwave stuff going on. I don't think it'll be necessarily that relevant, but it's something. Plus the defensive, you know, core and geo resonance being good. And that's just a matter of, okay, what element are we crystallizing with Kachina to make use of her buff? And the answer is probably Pyro, right? So, I don't know, like I guess Kachina, Zhongli, yeah, Kachina, Zhongli. Actually, I wonder if it'll make sense to put Kachina as the last slot instead of Zhongli in the Sino team that I've been using with Emily, right? Because maybe she'll buff Sino's damage enough to be relevant over Zhongli. I don't know, because you already have Toma for a shielder, right? Will Kachina be good for Nave? Yes, definitely. Xylena might be better, by the way. Like, I'm gonna be clear, it kind of seems like Xylenin is just 5-star version of Kachina, but like Xylenin actually does something in her kit that is meaningful other than the artifact set, whereas like for most circumstances the most relevant thing Kachina does for most players is just what the artifact set is doing, and the artifact set is strong enough that there's reasons to use Kachina for that. Like it's really good that Kachina is a free character. A little unfortunate that it's like, you know, takes a crap ton of story to get to. But Kachina is a good option for a free character that like you will absolutely be able to use to make the team stronger just by slotting her into a team with the set bonus, right? But yeah, anyways, so like probably the most notable examples. You know what? Hybrid Raiden probably is stronger with Kachina too. Now that I think about it. Yeah, so like, yeah, I don't know. She's just another buffer option, right? That's kind of, I think, all it comes down to, which is cool. Having more buffers on Polearms Only is good. Is it necessary? If she was deleted, would the account struggle to clear content? For how long it's existed and how highly invested my things are? Probably not, right? I don't know. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of times where it's just like, okay, yeah, it makes sense to choose Kachina here. But she'll never like be necessary. But yeah, like at a baseline, right? We'll use. Oh boy. We'll use Sino, I guess, in the first. Wait, I don't know. It'll probably work. We'll use Sino in the first chamber, right? But like, if we're looking at my teams here, obviously she won't work in Shiver's teams, but we're looking at how I'm configuring teams here. So this team, right, Kachina here, I don't know exactly, because the question would be if she ends up just like getting pyro crystallizes, and therefore getting pyro damage bonus, that is not that relevant to the team if Kachina is in the last slot here. But if she ends up giving electro damage bonus for Sino, that could be a meaningful DPS upgrade for the team. Is it better than Zhongli's Res Shred? I'm not quite sure there. I'd have to actually like compare that directly, either math wise or just in game. But at a baseline, it also just frees up Zhongli to be used on a different team, which is potentially relevant. And then, you know, for other teams, like I don't know if I'm doing Melt Rosaria. Normally I do like Melt Rosaria like this. Maybe I could do Melt Rosaria with Kachina instead. Although again, like, Zhongli would be probably better here now I think about it, because I still would prefer to stay alive with Zhongli. But Kachina would probably be theoretically stronger, particularly if I can get both a Pyrocrystallize and a Cryocrystallize going, which I think is possible relatively easily in this team. So if I get damage bonus for both elemental types, which could be very, very good. Again, how much better than the Res Shred? I don't know. So, other than that, though, right, the Kachina Zhongli core, like doing both of them together, it could, you know, just do mono Pyro Hu Tao with Kachina Zhongli Xiangling. Or the Kino obviously could be in place of Hu Tao too as an option. So yeah, and then as far as Hybrid Raiden goes, right, Hybrid Raiden on this account has a downside of not having the greatest Dendra options is probably the main problem. Like, I can use Emily, but if I'm doing Hybrid Raiden with Emily, it's basically just doing the Sino team, but with, you know, Raiden instead of Sino. And it definitely works. Arguably, it could be better in some ways. But, you know, if I'm doing Hybrid Raiden with this, right, I could do Kachina here in the last slot or something. I don't know. There's interesting potential, but I'm not exactly sure she'll be the most relevant character or anything, but she should be fun to mess around with, right? Not irrelevant, but it is definitely the artifacts less than her kit being that crazy or anything, because she's not going to do that much damage. Even if I got her C6, she wouldn't be like an insane damage dealer, but she could do some damage, particularly with C6. So, what are we doing? Hydro Slimes. Arlecchino, Candace. Bloop bloop. And then do. Wait, oops. Okay. Last one here. Oops. Will you be pulling for Raiden constellations? So like the main thing that could make me pull for Raiden constellations is if Toma, because I have C3 Raiden. Like, I don't need more Raiden constellations on this account. And I think right now, as far as like after Kachina's banner goes, I would rather save for Madame Ping is supposedly a polearm, Hydro polearm even. I'd rather save for Madame Ping and an additional copy of Staff of Scarlet Sands would be nice. So I'd like to save the resources for that. Would be the most notable things that would be nice to have on this account, because I've definitely had plenty of situations where I want to use multiple copies of Staff of Scarlet Sands. It's like part of the reason, like, Sino was on Jade Spear here, is because I want to free up Staff of Scarlet Sands. I don't want it to just be stuck on one character. So, anyways, okay, well, this is just annoying. As far as Raiden constellations go, they're not that worthwhile, right? Giving an attack buff to the team after Raiden's burst is done is kind of whatever, right? For C4. But if Toma is on the banner, I might do a few pulls on it. It depends what we're looking like after we wish for Kachina a little bit. I don't know what my stopping point is going to be for Kachina. Realistically, her constellations aren't that relevant, right? Did they just heal? I swear to God, they just healed. Is there a healing one here? Okay, well. Okay, so I know. How are you healing? Is there a healing effect going on here? Interesting. But whatever. On my main account, no, not wishing for Raiden on my main account. If I could turn off constellations, I would consider getting Raiden C2 just for the fun of it. Raiden C2 would go very hard, especially with how I like doing hybrid Raiden. But I don't want it because I don't want to use hybrid Raiden in videos, and then people are like, oh, the only reason it works is because you got C2, right? Oh, freaking okay. Okay, well, here, Mika, it's their time to shine. Wow, look at that cryo damage. DPS Yayo, go. Perfect. Alright. Now, what just exploded on me? Stop. Yeah, I mean, Shao C4, yeah. So, anyways, as far as, like, if Toma's on the banner, the reason Toma would be on the banner would be relevant because if you didn't notice, I'm using Toma more. Do I need Toma constellations? Not really. But if Toma's on a polearm banner anyways, it would be kind of cool to get, right? Like when else would there be that it would actually make sense to wish for Toma constellations if he's not on the banner? And Toma did get a rerun recently, so you might say it's like kind of unlikely that he's on the banner. But right now, the circumstance with like the Raiden Kenichi banner is kind of interesting because presumably, since it's Raiden, right, they're going to rerun Sara, as they always do. Although, of any character that's likely to show up on the banners, I think it would be perfectly fine for them not to rerun Sara. It would make a small subset of people annoyed, I think. But the potential benefit of a different, more relevant 4-star would be high. But anyways, like, Chevreuse needs to rerun. Like, I swear to God, if they don't rerun Chevreuse on Raiden's banner, that'd be insane. Right? So, like, Chevreuse better freaking be rerunning on Raiden's banner. And then, okay, if Sara, and they're probably going to rerun Sara, even if it, like, would be fine if she didn't. So, Sara and Chevreuse might be a given on the banner. Chevreuse should be a given. Okay, who's the last character? Well, it probably would make sense if they pair Kenichi with a 4-star that synergizes with them, right? Otherwise, Sara and Chevreuse don't synergize with Kenichi at all. So like they gotta put like another unit on the banner that makes sense with Kenichi, I feel like, and I feel like it has to be Toma, right? So that's why I might end up wishing on the banner on Polearms Only. Yeah, I sincerely hope Chevreuse doesn't get locked to Raiden. It will piss me off if they just lock her to Raiden. But it's been long enough since she reran, and like Raiden is another place where it makes sense to rerun her. So like freaking rerun this character. Good Lord, Bahamio. Screw them for like not rerunning this character in any number of the obvious times they could have rerun this character. Arlecchino's banner, Chlorian's banner, whatever, right? Ugh. I can't believe they freaking did Chevreuse in Chlorian's trial and then didn't rerun Chevreuse with her. What the frick was that? Like, you absolute dicks. Like, what that tells me, I think they genuinely planned to rerun Chevreuse originally with Chlorian, but then I think they effed up in Chlorian's design and realized that she just wasn't actually that good with Chevreuse, and they didn't want to make her better with Chevreuse because they didn't want to like they don't want to make Chlorian better with Chevreuse than Raiden is my vibe. And so then they just like didn't do that, right? But then they still left her trial as with Chevreuse. Just Xiangling, I mean, yeah, they might put Xiangling on Kenichi banner, I guess, but she also just literally reran right now the literal patch before. At least there's been a little bit of time since Toma, and Toma has the relevance of being just an off-field pyro, not just for keeping up, like, burning with them, but more importantly, Toma can do burgeon things, and Kinich is burgeon or burning, right? So, and Toma would be the main obvious 4-star to do that with, so I don't know. Toma's the one that makes the most sense to me. Otherwise, like, it's probably just going to be an anti-synergistic banner for Kinich, which would be unfortunate for anyone who wants Kinich. I think Shev got removed from Cloran last minute due to overpowering Acheron. I don't think Acheron was a factor, but I do think Shev got removed from Cloran banner because she just they didn't want to put Chevris on the banner when Cloran is not actually that great with Chevris. Not useless, like she's not a terrible option for Chevris, but you know, worse than C0 Raiden, which is and C0 Raiden's not a very good carry. So yeah. Anywho's, we're done. Yay, that took a while. Okay, I guess I should pull you. Do you still want to see solo Arlecchino through this? It would take so long. God. Solo Arlecchino the event, or do you want to see, okay, thing. I mistyped that, whatever. The solo Arlecchino, or main account, main account, whatever's. There we go. Okay. I see Xiangling on Kinich banner committing crimes. Indeed, like she. Yeah, if they rerun Xiangling again. Oh boy. No, I think Toma makes the most sense, realistically. I really hope they don't make all the 4-stars not have synergy with Kinich, right? And like they gotta put a pyro unit. It's the only thing that makes sense. You could argue about Hydro, I guess. Like Xingqiu, no. I mean, maybe Xingqiu, but like, man, that would be. Solo Arlecchino on every single level, so you do it 18 times. Yes, indeed. That's why I don't really want to do it. But if you guys really wanted to see it, I don't know, because there's sometimes people are just like, you should solo with her. I'm like, yeah, sure, but it's not that interesting. I already showed it was doable, and it would be doable, I think, fully the way through. But anyways, all right, and we're done with events for this patch, for this account. Crazy. Crazy. Do I have enough resin to do one more thing? Wow, I do. I yapped for that long. Good lord. Good lordy lord. I've accepted my fate in pulling for Kinich. Yeah. So, anyways, hopefully, not for the like. Obviously, a lot of players already have Toma, right? But I'm just speaking from a perspective that there's a lot of players that might not have Toma, right? And there might be new players or whatever. So like, there's a reason like it does make sense for them to have put Xiangling on this banner, for example, is like they want to put some number of units on 4-stars that can synergize with the 5-stars, so that like newer players especially can have some amount of useful characters, right? They're not. It makes sense for them to like not just rerun only the characters that have been like. It wouldn't have made sense to put Chevers in this banner, right? Like Chevers needs a rerun, but it wouldn't make sense to put Chevers on this banner. I think having some amount of synergy on the banner at a baseline matters more. And if 2 of the 4-star slots are reserved for Raiden, they gotta do someone for Toma, or someone for Kinich, and I think that only makes sense to be Toma. But we'll see. We'll see. Would you consider weapons only V2 now that weapon banner's fixed? No. Weapons only is still shit garbage. Weapons only is like, that should tell you how little of a change that the weapon banner change is that it didn't even make me consider weapons only. It's a pretty nothing change. I'm pretty sure how most people wish on the weapon banner is that they like. Right, I don't think most people save up enough wishes to. I don't think most people will save up enough wishes to be able to guarantee a character and a weapon, right? Some people will, right? Right, but like the right approach to the character and weapon banner, like if you wanted to save enough to guarantee Emily and her weapon, with how the new weapon banner works, it'd be saving about 150 pulls for Emily, and then we'll say 130 for weapon banner, right? So you should save 280 pulls, right? I think what most people will do when it comes to the new weapon banner, and most people have done with the current weapon banner system, is that like they might save up enough to guarantee Emily's, right? So they'll have 150 pulls to guarantee Emily. They'll go to pity, they'll win their 50-50. And oh, you have enough wishes left to go to pity on the weapon banner, right? So you spend, so this is how I think, where I think most people, like I think the average player that spends wishes on weapon banner, I think this is what happens. Not that they're all saving, but I think what happens is that they get lucky in some form. It could be as simple as winning a 50-50, it could be as simple as getting it early, right? They get lucky getting the character they want, and then they have excess wishes, and then they dump those excess wishes into weapon banner. That is, I think, why the weapon banner exists. Because it's an additional way to get people to like, oh, they got the thing they wanted, they got lucky with the thing they wanted, but there's still more you can get, right? Like the weapon banners are so predatory, right? Like this is why like I maintain like the same thing. Like my conclusion from Rethinking Waves was like, cool, they're guaranteed, but the only good weapon banner is the one that doesn't f***ing exist. Okay, right? So what I think is gonna, there's basically, I think for how the average player tends to wish in the weapon banner, the new weapon banner system is basically not any different, right? Because if you're in a circumstance of like you had 100 pulls and you got lucky, you got Emily in 30 pulls, and you have enough to go to pity to weapon banner, the new weapon banner system, when you only have a pity's worth of pulls to spend on the weapon banner, is no different than this current system. The only thing they change is the pay point, right? Which is only important if you have enough wishes to for sure get it. like they've reduced the maximum number of wishes to spend, but they have not changed the factor of if you only have enough to get 1 5-star, right? So like I'm not calling anyone out individually. I'm just saying I think that's how the average person wishes on these banners, right? Is they get the character and have some spare wishes, and then they wish in the weapon banner, right? For that type of behavior, the new weapon banner is not better. It's the same. So yeah, and I'm gonna mention this in the Mualani wishing video. I'm not gonna wish weapon banner in the Mualani wishing video. I'm gonna be like, yes, it is better if you are a saver who saves for enough to guarantee getting your character and your weapon, right? But if you don't save enough to plan around, if you don't have enough to guarantee the weapon, it is not any better. So I don't know, right? Yeah, or it's good if you spend, right? Duh, because it takes less money to get things. But I don't know, and I still maintain I like, to be clear, the 5.0 weapons are not this way currently, but Emily's weapon in conjunction with this weapon banner change makes me think they're gonna push weapons a little bit harder by making them stronger. We're gonna see more Emily style weapons, I suspect. The upside might be we might also get more interesting weapons, right? Like there's a leak supposedly from I think last week that's Xylanen's weapon. So this is the 5.1 character, the lion lady. Her claymore supposedly gives a team-wide crit rate and crit damage buff. I have been wanting them to do more weapons that are more than just gives a bunch of stats to the equipped character, right? So them doing more buffing weapons with this would be cool, as long as they don't do too many things, right? As long as this just isn't, a signal of them just power creeping weapons kind of thing. I think it's a good change to the game, but like we'll see. Each weapon is pretty nuts. It is kind of strong for him. Yes, yeah. Mualani's weapon is good, but like she has enough other options that I think it's just meh compared to her other options, which is always like what you gotta evaluate the relevance of a weapon from, right? Is how relevant is this weapon relative to their other options. Mualani's weapon gives a lot of good stats for her, but it's like fairly standard relative to other options. Kaniche though is weapon is really strong, but the notable thing with Kaniche, of course, is like how does it compare to Serpent Spine, right? Because Serpent Spine is the best battle pass weapon. Like it's the most universal, like for any DPS claymore unit. It's just super universal. Gives a bunch of crit and gives a bunch of damage bonus. And it's the one that has like the highest refined value. It's probably the most common one that if you buy the battle pass that people have R5, because it's the most it's one of the ones that just makes the most sense to get multiple copies of. Like R5 of this weapon tends to be like the R5 of this weapon on Navia, for example, is the same damage for the not every single context, right? But it's the same damage in like Navia's like best teams as Navia's signature weapon, right? So when that exists, it lowers the potential value of like Claymore weapons. I have not double checked what Kenichi's weapon compares with to R5 Serpent Spine yet or anything. My point with that is just to not get too focused on like, oh my god, Kenichi's weapon gives 800% skill damage bonus. Like they get like, sure, yeah, it gives 60% skill damage bonus, but if Kenichi's weapon gives 60% skill damage bonus and you have an R5 Serpent Spine that gives what does it give total max stacks? I don't know. Whatever R5 Serpent Spine gives max stacks to all damage bonus, right? Well, does it actually make that much sense, kind of thing, right? So yeah. If the fate point was permanent, if they had made if they changed it so like it was fate point was only one required and it was permanent now, so like it carries over, that would actually be a really significant improvement to the weapon banner. Yeah, the one upside with the fate point thing ultimately being a minor change is that I suspect because of the fact that for the vast majority of players it won't that crazily change anything. It's just going to bait more people into wishing because people are saying it's better now. I think that means we probably won't get that crazy of pushed weapons. I don't think we'll see Emily's style of weapon that often, but that's the main thing I'm worried about, right? We'll see. Anyways. Yes, the main answer is yeah, just continue to ignore the weapon banner. But at the same time, like, I still think, like, when you play long enough in this game, right, you end up usually finding certain characters and certain teams that you really like playing a lot, right? And if you play the game long enough, I do think there is a point where it does make sense to spend your wishes on the weapon banner when it's a weapon banner that makes sense to your individual account, and when you solidly know that like whatever you get from the weapon banner will be relevant to you, right? But how most people wish in the weapon banner is just like they just got a new character that they're excited about, and they have spare wishes, and they spend wishes in the weapon banner, right? They don't get weapons after like, okay, you know, you use Arlecchino, you play this game for a year, you've been using Arlecchino for a year, and like, oh, she reran, and you're just like, okay, you know what? I already have a really good Arlecchino build. I just want her weapon because I want it, because I use Arlecchino all the dang time, and I, you know, want that last little tiny improvement I can get from her. Especially if you're in a circumstance of like, you know, you have no other, you don't have Homa or Jade Spear or whatever for her, right? You only have your Deathmatch for her. Then it could make a lot more relative value sense, especially if it's paired with another good weapon. So, you know, like I think it can make sense when you play this game long enough. Like Zajeff is very anti-weapon banner, for example, but then he also simultaneously complains about the fact that like he doesn't have multiple Fav swords, right? And like I'm just like, my dude, quite frankly, like this weapon banner doesn't have Fav sword, but pretend the flute is Fav sword, right? This weapon banner for Zajeff, being that he might be able to get use out of Aqua, and I think I don't actually remember if he pulled Emily or not. He might not have, because Zajeff hates fun. Sorry, Zajeff. So, you know, but like if this had like Fav sword in the banner, because of his needs for Fav swords and the fact that it might, like, if he was getting Emily, right, and it would have 2 potential relevant 5-star weapons for his account, and the fact that he has like 100,000 Primo Gems, right? Primo Gems don't do anything for you. Like these aren't things that change your gameplay experience, right? What changes your gameplay experience is the things you can get with them, right? So, like, it makes sense to save. Like, it does make sense to do something like Zajeff does, to have a stockpile that anytime a character does release that you want, you can just get them. Like, his approach does make sense. But completely, like, blacklisting Everwishing on the weapon banner doesn't actually make sense. I don't think when you get to the state that his account is in, where he's been playing so long, he has such a stockpile that like those Primo Gems are doing nothing for him. He could genuinely get meaningful value out of spending some of them on weapon banner and improve his account. like more than like wishing on a particular weapon banner that has like Fav sword and good 5-star weapons could be more relevant to him than getting new characters, right? But anyways, that was my weapon banner rant. I do think it can make sense. It's just rare, and it takes a long time to make sense. We should switch to my main account. Yes, I keep rambling on Polearms Only. Can each weapon good for Navia? I'd have to go double. I don't think it is. I think it has a pretty specific trigger condition. Let me double check. Let's do this. Hello, turtle. Does he get Arlecchino weapon? Did Zajef get Arlecchino weapon? Why would he do that? Did he? I could have sworn he just like used Jade Spear, which makes sense. Like Arlecchino's weapon's kind of meh. Like they completely sold Arlecchino's weapon based on looks and not on stats. Just saying. I think I may be the most excited about getting mats when pulling a character, building Emily and Yolanda's benches, draining my soul. I mean, yeah. I wish the wishing system gave easier access to, you know, the easy solution for this problem would be if getting materials here, like Mora, if this was less expensive and like whatever, right? Like if you could feel more free to use this currency, not just for like the monthly wishes, right? Like if these wishes were just in-game content and not something you had to try to save this crap for, it would make this system better, right? Like unironically, like this might be a controversial opinion because people think these are free wishes, like, but they could move these free wishes, right, into other content in the game, right? They could move these 5 free intertwined fates they give per month into events or whatever, right? Same thing with the standard wishes. They could move them to other forms of content. Like you could get the same exact amount of free wishes in the game without them forcing you to like save up your star glitter or stardust for this, right? So they could meaningfully actually improve the annoyance of like having to farm so much and whatever by actually making better use of something already in the game. But they're on discount. Yeah, weird that they've never actually been full price. Like, right? Like it sucks that the Stardust system mostly is relevant just to be saved for those, when those could be just given somewhere else. Like, why not actually make use of your currency that you get from wishing in the shop to actually be a currency you would think about, like the value of there being a currency to buy different things is that, you know, you might want to buy the different things, but instead most players' experience ends up being they don't want to buy different things because they need to save it for the free wishes, right? So anyway, let me go check what Kinesis weapon does quick. I don't recall exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure it might not be good for Navia because too restrictive of a trigger condition, not to mention 11% crit rate would suck to build crit on Navia. But the big, I don't know, like the big attack, base attack, it has like 700 and whatever base attack, so highest base attack you can have in weapons currently. I think it's also the first time they put a crit substat on a weapon with this high base attack too, which is interesting. We'll probably see them do that more often, since they seem to want to just continually release 40% crit rate artifact sets. Yeah, 741 base attack, 11% crit rate. After hitting an opponent with an elemental skill, you gain a stack, and it can be triggered every 0.5 seconds. After a nearby... When did the stack expire? They expire after 6 seconds, so... this effect can be triggered every 2 seconds, and can be triggered even when the triggered party member is off-field. And then it also, yeah, after a nearby party member triggers a burning or virgin reaction, the equipping character will gain 3 stacks. So, with Navia, like, so the first line there saying where you can gain 1 stack after hitting an opponent with an elemental skill means you technically, on Navia, you would gain 1 stack of the damage bonus for Navia after using her first skill, which is relevant if you're doing her second skill within 6 seconds. So, the passive for Navia gives her 10% damage bonus. This is that. I'm pretty sure this is worse than Serpent Spine. It might even be worse than like a lower refined Serpent Spine, quite frankly. I'm not 100% sure because like the base attack value, like if you can get the right amount of stats in your artifacts to abuse that base attack, Like this might be one of like Navia's best weapons for like non-Bennett Navia teams, just because of the high base attack. But I don't think it's no. Don't plan on using Kenich's weapon on Navia. It's safe to say. Just like get Serpent Spine if you want to do like I know Serpent Spine costs money, so I don't know, but like no. Yeah, for Kenich, he can trigger Burning and Burgeon, or actually okay. Sorry, the trigger condition. Okay, I misread this a little bit. It says after a nearby party member triggers Burning or Burgeon. So there is actually some interesting potential then with Navia, but again, it's like it's niche. Like it restricts her teams. So like a Navia team that could actually use Kenich's weapon to max potential would be like a Navia team with Emily. So something like this, right? Where you're doing Navia, Bennett, Emily, and Shungling is theoretically better here, but I'd frick Shungling. Is I think why I was testing this team, right? So in this team, right, you can get max stacks on it, right? With Navia, and that would be 60% skill damage bonus, and burst damage bonus, with 741 base attack, 11 crit rate for Navia. But are you? I don't know. It depends, right? So if you got Emily, and like are absolutely adoring Emily with Navia and don't have any other good weapon option for Navia, like you don't have Serpent Spine or whatever at all and refuse to buy the Battle Pass, then maybe if you really love Navia and want to power her up, but it's not going to be a great option in non-burning situations. So you know. Oh yeah, and you'd be trading Geo Resonance too there. Yeah, that's true. That is an important factor I didn't think about either. You could technically, well, I don't know. Is there a way you could? I don't know. So, it is possible that like let's pretend the Pyro Archon exists, and let's pretend the Pyro Archon does off-field pyro damage and does some kind of attack buffing, right? Like probably not a Bennett tier attack buff, but if the Pyro Archon does off-field pyro damage and attack buffing, you could do Pyro Archon, Emily, and then still have your Geo Resonance and still, you know, use the weapon, and it can still be very, very good, right? So there might be more options in the future, assuming the Pyro Archon does something like that. We'll see. So, anywho's. Wondering how Geo interacts with Burning? Not much. it can consume a little bit of the Pyro aura, but it depends on how much Geo application you have going on. So, yeah, you crystallize Pyro. Part of the reason I was testing that team is because I just wanted to see how Emily felt, or how Navia felt with, you know, Emily, and just if this was a more fun variation of the team for me than doing Shungling, right? But realistically, like doing Kachina and Shungling here is stronger because, yeah, don't have to worry about having off-field pyro to keep up this. Like theoretically, you could just like Navia is freeform enough, and you don't have you could swap to. You could technically still do double Geo with this team, right? You could have Kachina in here, get 40% pyro. Well, pyro bonus wouldn't even be relevant actually. So I don't know, put Zhongli here, I guess, instead, or whatever, and get the Geo Resonance. Get Zhongli Res Shred, and what you would probably have to do though is like swap to Bennett and to do additional ease on him occasionally to keep out Burning sometimes. You wouldn't wanna, you'd want to like do like Navia's normal attack combo after doing her skill, switch to Bennett, E again, make sure you don't like lose the level 2 skill on her, and then switch back to Navia, do her second skill kind of thing. So you could just use Bennett, is my point, without having another off-field pyro with Emily. You could do it. I guess we can actually just test that, now that I think about it. Why not? Would Tenacity be good on Dia? Yeah, on that team, Tenacity Dia would make sense. So we're not going to use, to test this, we're not going to use Dia here. Should condense my resin. Genshin Natlan gameplay trailer released? Okay. Gameplay trailer, or is it just like showing the overworld again? Like, is it actually a game? Like, it's probably just like camera panning over things, and it's not like actual gameplay. Oh, frick, I forgot about this. Well, too late now. Oh well. Maybe we'll do more of that later. So let's go see. Wait, is the first chamber? Hopefully the first chamber is fine here. I forgot what the first chamber is in this new enemy cycle. Oh, it's a cube. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine for just testing things. Okay, Navia. And we're doing Bennett. You. So this is like, again, the part of this is a test to see like how relevant this is as an alternative versus like doing Xiongling in the team, and can you do this with like Kanich weapon on Navia? Because I think it could theoretically, God, it'd make her, I would not want to use it still, to be clear on her, because God, it would make her annoying to build. Like my Navia, if I use Kanich's weapon, like yay, the base attack goes high, but I would lose 16% crit rate. I would go to like 50% crit rate. Like, like I'd have to crit rate circlet, and then just be like, okay, if I'm using a crit rate circlet, then you're losing some, like, man, like, I wouldn't want to use it still. I want to say that, right? But just on a testing mechanically, to see if we can do Emily, Bennett, Navia with another, like, Geo unit, right? Which I don't even have, like, anybody. I'll just throw freaking, I don't know, at the Yunjin here. Kachina would probably be who I'd use in my case. Skill damage, well, yeah. So, let's start with burst. We can do this. Good. Oh wait, no, that's what I should not have done. Whatever. I think that's fine though. Okay. You wanna go into your next phase, dude? Dude? Alright. Let's just do this. Hopefully it'll kill it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, we still. Yeah, it works fine, right? So, there is possible with Kachina's off-field Geo slightly interfering with things a little bit, because the off-field Geo will consume a little bit more of the Pyro Aura. But it works. So, yeah. Noelle pair well with Kachina. I mean, if I'm doing like Noelle Ret Rock, like one problem I have with doing Noelle Ret Rock is I don't usually have a good option because I don't like use Zhongli. I don't have Zhongli. And so I like oftentimes will do like Yunjin with Noelle, and I enjoy that because I like doing Noelle's normal attacks. But Kachina is probably better, I suspect. So, yes, basically. Geo doesn't remove Pyro. Geo does remove Pyro, but the crystallized reaction consumes half a unit of whatever element is on things, not like a full unit like most reactions do. It's like when you trigger, well, I shouldn't say like most reactions. The point is half a unit is not much, and Geo units don't usually apply that much Geo either. I'm just mentioning that it's possible Kachina's off-field Geo might actually be enough extra Geo to make the balance here not be ideal, right? But obviously we had a good enough, burning up time here that it wasn't too problematic. Didn't even have 3 stacks there. Oops. Yeah, obviously it works pretty well. So I don't know. I like this more than Xiongling personally. You just have to think about the things a little bit going on, I think. I think it's a bit more engaging, but obviously, I don't necessarily have like a Shungling build equipped right now to properly compare like damage output. We're just watching for like mechanics working. Obviously, it works there and has pretty good performance. Yeah. So I like it. I do like Navia with Emily. The long and short. I don't know what happens with pyro units when burning is active. What do you mean? What happens with pyro units? If burning is on the enemy, like if burning is active, burning will put pyro on. Like burning itself applies pyro, every few seconds. I think basically every standard ICD timings. And then if you use that pyro to trigger some other reaction, right? So if you're doing, if the pyro burning is happening, you're doing pyro on top of burning existing happening. You're just putting more fire onto the fire, right? And you don't necessarily need to have to switch to your pyro. Why are you on freaking? Oh yeah, I remember. that was because I was doing the Vape Elon video. I never switched you back. That's funny. Losing a little bit of Bennett's buff potential there. Anyways, I'm not gonna fix his artifacts right now. So yeah, I don't know. The point is, Kenichi's weapon could work, but you would have to probably play Emily with Navia basically always, right? Which is a downside. So, anyways, Serpent R5 is 2.5% worse if you use Bennett. Yeah. Alright, what else is there? What should I do? How long have I been How have I been streaming for 2 hours and I've done like the event on Polearms Only? Just rambly stream. Good lord. Should I farm Heroes Wits today? Yeah, I think I just farm more Heroes Wits. I've spent a couple days farming Mora, if it's not obvious. And I've gotten a good chunk of Mora, which is good. I think I'm good with, I think I'm good on Mora. Like, Mora is something I don't like to farm a ton of. It wouldn't be bad to have more, obviously, as a surplus. More than 6 million, but it's enough at least to level the... I'm probably going to level Kachina at least a little bit, and then probably going to level 90 Mualani. And I do think I will probably... Like, I might, for the Mualani video I'm going to make, I might just be funny and leave her normal... or leave her skill talent. Her skill talent is, like, for normal Mualani's gameplay, is by far the priority talent, right? But for how I'm going to play Mualani, I think that's a daily. I think this is also the wrong type of thing. My priority is going to be crowning her burst, and I might just be funny and leave her skill at level 1. So, we'll see. C2 Jean or C0 Dia? I mean, unless there's some specific team where like the attack speed or the movement speed buff really matters to you, I would say C0 Dia, personally. But, you know, I don't know, if you really want to do Dragon Strike things, maybe you want to do Farina Jean and do Dragon Strike things with your characters, then maybe, but not many people care about Dragon Strike, right? It's an interesting thing you can do, for sure. If Mualani's burst playstyle ends up working well enough, like I don't even think it's going to be that unconventional of a way to play her. Like, there's potential really significant upside to doing a burst DPS Mualani if she ends up having the right balance of like the way her energy generates. Like if her energy forces you to stay on field for a bunch of time with her to get her energy particles, it will make her burst playstyle basically non-relevant. But if she can't just get her energy particles right away, I do think a burst DPS Mualani playstyle has a lot of potential to be good because of the fact that you could like have a ton of you could do a buff setup with her, right? Have a ton of front loaded damage going, and after you get the front loaded damage from like Mualani burst, you just switch to someone else. Like it gives her more potential team flexibility. And I don't know, like I was looking into like, okay, maybe I can do a setup where I do Emily plus Bennett plus Raiden. Raiden gives burst damage bonus, right? So I could do hybrid Raiden. So this is probably not a... I probably won't make a full video on hybrid Raiden with Mulanni, right? But at a baseline of just doing, you know, Bennett, Emily, right, is going to be burning, put pyro on enemies, and then Raiden can be there just for the burst damage bonus and then getting Raiden's own personal damage. So the idea would be Bennett, Emily, switch to Mulanni, get a big like front-loaded damage of like 3 to 400k ish from her burst, and then switch to Raiden and do Raiden, right? And Raiden's refunding energy, giving a little bit of burst damage bonus. And it might make sense to spend a little bit more field time on Mulanni there. I don't know how the balance will exactly work out, right? So it's not necessarily you're just bursting on Mulanni in that team, but I think it could work. And like going into that same idea that I've been doing a lot lately of, you know, using your on fielder on like not just staying on field as long as possible, your on fielder, in favor of, you know, sacrificing a little bit of their damage output in favor of getting more damage output from someone else that can be on field, right? Is the baseline idea there, and I find those teams to be really fun to play, generally speaking, when you go along those ideas. Needs like 160 to 180 ER. See, you gotta remember, like, when you're seeing those numbers, guys, that's from like normal context. And like 160 ER is from a context of not with Raiden. People are not calcing, like normally doing calcs for Mulanni's ER needs if you're playing her with Raiden. It's not like a normal context, right? Like, I don't know exactly what her ER needs look like, and what matters far more than her actual ER needs is actually how she generates her energy, right? Like, if she has to stay on field for 6 seconds to be able to get her energy, like I can't get her energy quickly by doing her shark bite early, then that kills the playstyle. It's not actually it's not actually her energy needs that kills the playstyle. Her energy needs affects the total potential damage output of the playstyle, and potentially affects how relevant doing something like an emblem build is or whatever. So, anyways, I don't think that's going to be the strongest way. The video I plan to make, by the way, I'll just spoil it for you guys because you're my dedicated peoples. I'll spoil what the Mulanni video is probably going to be focused on. It's going to be a burst focused Mulanni, but it's gonna be doing double hydro. Okay, boy, I don't have the ability to do another team slot. Where's my Yolon team? There we go. So, if you saw this video, right, where I did Yolon vaping with Emily, you might be like, oh, okay, you're just gonna replace Yolon with Emily. No, or sorry, replace Yolon with Mulanni. No, I'm going to replace Emily with Mulanni. So, the idea with Mulanni in this team, right? So pretend, I don't know, pretend this is Mulanni. Mulanni, like, you don't need a lot of pyro for Mulanni. So it's the same gimmick of, and again, like the pyro archon, depending on what kind of buff the pyro archon is giving, might be better than Bennett here. Bennett would be for ease of pyro infusion and just being a healer. So it'd be do Yolon burst, right? And the reason started with the Yolon burst is Yolon gives damage bonus. Yolon is also double hydro, so buffing HP, which is damage bonus for Mulanni. She's also HP scaling, and also significantly reduces her energy needs, right? That's a big factor. So doing double hydro, and because of the fact that you can control Yolon's hydro output, you don't like her, like if you do like Farina with Mulanni, like you can do like mono hydro Mulanni things. You don't have to do vape Mulanni, right? But if you do Farina, like Farina's constantly pooping hydro on enemies. You can't turn it off unless you like switch to Farina and literally turn it off with like the healing mode and whatever. And that's not ideal for a lot of reasons. Versus Yolon, you just activate her burst. It applies hydro initially, which you actually want, because you apply hydro, you do Bennett and get Bennett, instructor buff going, and then do like what I did in the video. Do a couple normal attacks on Kazuha, swirl, hydro, and infuse pyro when standing in Bennett burst at the same time. So Bennett, so Bennett and Kazuha is your pyro application that you need for Mulanni to vape. And then of course you get the instructor stuff going. You get the damage bonus from her. You get energy refunding, or not energy refunding. She's an energy battery for Mualani. And then you switch to Mualani and just press Q on her, and then bam, get like I with my exact artifacts, I should be able to see Mualani in this team do, I believe, 7. This is with the crown burst, I think. So this might not be what you see in the video, but I should be able to get 750k. Just doing that, right? Who is Mualani? Do you mean Yelan? No, I mean Mualani, the character that they announced like a couple days ago, officially announced. So like, yeah, Yelan Q, and then after Mualani burst, switch to Yelan. Oh yeah, and then there's other interesting potential in this team. Depending on when the pyro application lines up after doing the Mualani Q, and how much Mualani's E, like again, this is a team that might work a lot worse if her energy forces you staying on field of Mualani longer. I don't know if it does, but like Yelan also might be able to be on a vape build, right? So I might be able to do skill vape Yelan and Mualani vape at the same time, which seems super fun. So, and then you get double hydro, you get energy for Mualani. I don't know. It's really interesting to think about using this team, I think. So, and definitely unconventional. Most people are not considering playing Yelan with Mualani, right? Because people are thinking about using Mualani from the perspective of staying on field with Mualani constantly. So, and you could still stay on field with Mualani in this team. You don't like have to try to vape on Yelan's skill after the fact. I just think it might actually end up working out in a way that it will give you reason to switch to Yelan. Is Kazuo a pyro swirl applying that much pyro? No, it's not applying that much pyro. You don't need that much pyro. Like, the goal is not to vape on every single possible hit that can vape. The goal is to vape on her burst. The goal is to switch to Mualani, press Q, and get 750,000 damage, and then you can switch to Yelan, and like maybe vape on her skill, or you can just do normal Mualani things, right? Like you have options for doing different things. I don't even know what the optimal thing will be. You might be able to get additional vapes from either Mualani or Yelan in this context, right? But the point is like double hydro resonance, right? Get the HP, and then energy from Mualani, so you can actually burst consistently on her. Because like I don't know, I think theory crafters are underestimating the enjoyment factor of speccing and of making it so you can burst consistently on Mualani. Because like Mualani's burst is their highest multiplier hit, right? And believe it or not, most people are not playing Genshin just because they want to do the most optimal thing, right? And people like to play Genshin because it's a video game. We like to have fun. And a lot of people, we know this, enjoy seeing a really big number. So, if the biggest number you can see on Mualani is her burst, is there not meaningful value to saying, oh, you can do teams like this where you can get a really big number from Mualani just immediately, and then you also have the flexibility to do something else? Like, to be clear, I enjoy getting big numbers. I also enjoy getting constant damage output, right? For me, it's about finding that balance of getting big numbers and having good damage output otherwise, right? But I think most theory crafters are ignoring the relevance on an enjoyment level of bursting on Mualani, right? Because I think that'll be the most fun thing to see from her. Just, literally doing like anywhere from, on an invested build, doing 700,000 plus damage on Mualani's burst. Sounds intensely fun. So we'll see how it works out, right? And we'll see if like maybe her energy needs will be super cringe. Even in a double hydro team, I don't know. I don't think it will be. I think double hydro, at least with my C1 Yelan, will probably be more than fine. So I'm not saying you should play that specific team, but as the main, not like, oh, just you stay on field with Mualani, surf around, and then press her E, surf around some more, press her E again, and then, like, I don't know. It's more engaging to me to, like, try to min-max the full kit and get big number while also doing other things with her. I don't know. So, yeah. The idea is to care about vaping on her biggest hit, and then not really care about vaping the rest, necessarily, essentially. And with some potential for vaping on additional hits, but I don't know exactly how it's going to work out to be. But yeah. Most old players don't look for another consistent damage teams. They already have them. Exactly. That's why I just focus on doing weird and more fun, unconventional things, rather than just like, I'm going to make a Mualani video where I play Mualani the same way everyone else is playing her, right? So anyways, that probably is the team I will make. I'll probably mention the potential for like doing hybrid Raiden weirdness as well. I'll probably test that out, but I suspect the hybrid Raiden team will be much worse than on getting enjoyment out of Mualani level. Not necessarily much worse as far as damage output, but you know, anywho's. Atlan characters at C0 could be on par or better than Raiden C2. I mean, potentially, yeah. Don't ignore Raiden's value as doing off-field things on top of Raiden's value of doing her like full burst sequence, right? But yeah, you're not wrong. But Raiden wasn't a good carry when she came out even, so you know. Powers on C6 or Gene C2 better for Scaramouche? Why would Gene C2 for Scaramouche is very little. Like, no, sure, the attack speed and movement speed, I guess, might make him feel maybe slightly better if he can glide around faster in the air. Maybe. Just don't like Raiden. I mean, yeah, that's fine. You definitely don't need her. She doesn't she does do some things uniquely best, which is good. Like, we want characters to have unique aspects that are good about their kits, but her whole mix is what's interesting. But any of the things that Raiden can do, you can definitely do with other characters, right? In some conjunction or the other. So she's very much... Raiden is definitely one of the characters that is quite easy to skip, and definitely one of the more overhyped and overvalued characters, I think. Anyways. But yeah, C2 Gene is not going to do much with Scaramouche. C6 Farazan is far more relevant. I don't even have anything else to do on this account of the day other than questy exploration things. Stream for 2.5 hours. And done nothing. This is why I'm not productive on streams. I just yap too much. Let's just go do some exploration things here. Yeah, Booba Sword is truly the main reason to get Raiden. Yeah, Kazuo reruns with Mualani. Okay. I need the gadget. I forgot what it looks like, I'm sorry. This? Wait, do I have the thing that reveals them all? Do I not? Frick. Okay, well. Okay. That was the right gadget then, right? Yeah, I basically 100% of this on my main account, or Polearm account, and haven't done a ton on this account. I did the majority of it, to be clear. Well, I should say the majority. The majority of like the reward content, and like, I'm probably missing out on 300, 400 Prima Gems at most. Where is it? Am I blind? Oh, it's right there. It was in the middle before. That's why I was confused. Okay. Yeah, this is the right one. Okay. Okay. So nothing here. Let's go back here. Just make sure. Go through this systematically. It's like there's probably nothing. Okay. I'll be saving for the Archon. Been waiting for so long for a meaningful off-field pyro. Chungling isn't real. Indeed. Yeah, I don't know. By the way, all this stuff, if you were part of my previous streams, in case you didn't catch it, they said it in the 5.0 stream that the Archon quest for Natlan is concluding in version 5.3. So for whatever reason, they're skipping version 5.2. So there is no Archon quest continuation in version 5.2 at all. Period. And normally they release the Archon in conjunction with the Archon quest ending for a region. So Pyro Archon is apparently really good. She doesn't exist yet. Nobody knows what her kit is. I thought I had a solid idea of what her kit might be, but that was on the assumption that she was intended to work with one of the current artifact sets releasing in Natlan. Because of the fact that she's probably releasing in version 5.3 alongside the Archon quest ending, then I suspect she will have new artifacts, which is going to be annoying in some ways, but it means we have like no freaking idea what our kit's going to look like, other than like we're back to like pre-Natlan guesses for what her kit might look like, essentially. So I suspect she will probably do a meaningful amount of off-field pyro application now. Originally, I was suspecting, because it would be too clunky with the artifact set, the support artifact set, they weren't going to make her actually apply that much pyro. So I thought she was going to be like Raiden style, where she, you know, did off-field pyro damage and maybe did meaningful multiplier damage, but doesn't actually apply that much pyro, right? Which means she would not be like a Xiangling replacement. I still am actually hopeful it is now. She is now, because of the fact that she's probably releasing with her own artifact set, is my suspicion. Yeah, it's possible they still release the Archon in 5.2 before the quest concludes. Yes, that is true. Okay, well, should have just used Emily. Oh, why? Bro, see what those drops went? They literally like bounced right here and then like literally split off into 3 different directions. Like one of them's over here. Hiding in this bush. Yoink. One of them's here. Where's the last one? Is that it? Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, those weren't drops, they were runs. Yes. Alright then. I feel like I got most of the things in this area. I must have. Or something. Watch her not be the Archon. That doesn't matter. Her kit will be the Archon kit. Like, yes, Farina is not the Archon. Her kit is the Archon kit, though. Like, I'm talking on a mechanical whose kit is designed to be the Archon's kit. Does not matter if she is not the Archon in lore. She is the Archon as presented to us and as sold to us, as far as what her kit will be designed like. Oh gosh, this one, dang it. Physics of this game are definitely physics. I mean, the physics wasn't the problem there, I think. It was just funny. They rolled off the cliff and then hit another cliff that split them out in the 3 directions. I think the physics was actually appropriate there. Relatively appropriate, at least. Yeah, I don't recommend like Kazuha Constellations if you really like Kazuha, you want to have more fun with him. C1 is situationally useful. It can reduce his ER needs, but it requires more field time, and also a situational value in being additional grouping. The downside of C1 is that you can do the things that C1 lets you do mostly with Sack Sword. So, and then C2 Kazuha is just rarely relevant. I've had C2 Kazuha for a long time. I have had teams where it is relevant and does do a meaningful damage increase for the team, but it requires being in a circle. It's more circle impact. Requires using his burst. There are not always teams where you always use his burst. And like it's can be really strong. But as someone who went for it, because like I was in the mindset, again, not knowing enough about the game at the time, of like, oh, like I started to understand enough things about why Kazuha was strong at that point, and like, hey, EM is good. But I didn't understand the nuance of like the difference between Kazuha's and Sucrose's kit. and didn't understand like Sucrose is doing a team-wide EM share. So like I thought Kazuha's C2 was like slapping a fully built Sucrose into Kazuha's kit. It's not. It's not at all. So anyways, Kazuha constellations are kind of bait in my opinion. They're not useless. The C1 and C2, anything past C2 is just like why? Realistically, anything past C2 is you just adore Kazuha and want them, I guess. I forgot what I'm supposed to do here. Oh. Fast sword is what most people consider the best 4-star sword. Yeah. Over here. Yeah, C1 is the Kazuha's most fun constellation. It is fun jumping more. And it is very obvious the situations where you can feel like it's relevant. It's not obvious. A lot of my videos, I purposely try not to use it. I was very much in the habit for a long time of just using it kind of automatically. But I've, I think, mostly broken that habit. And in my videos, I try to purposely not use it. Sometimes I still do, to be clear. Okay. I assume there's another one. I think we just have to help the different squirrels, right? I think one of them's up there. Okay, not you. Something over here? I think I did one of these already, too. I'm not sure. Sucrose not hitting any character that wants to refresh their skill like Kokomi. Wait, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Thirsty. I think you might have been talking to someone else. I just are missing the context. What is this? What's going on here? I don't know. What is going on here? I can't interact with anything. What? Really? I want it. What? Can I not climb this? Is it not a climbable surface? There we go. Okay. Did I just steal their treasure? Get wrecked. What's going on with the hilly turtle party over there? Just digging? Okay. This one I just did. Where's the... Over here, right? Yeah, that one. Okay. You can't. If you can't, you already did it. I see. Okay. So I did do it. They just still have the dialogue there or something. So this one is probably the one I haven't done. What? Oh, okay. What? Oh, okay. You don't have to hit the targets, right? No, just the rings, yeah. I missed. Oh, no, I didn't miss. Alright, game was generous. I definitely missed 100%. Should not have gotten that. Alright. Was that it? Yeah, that was it. Nice. What's up here, though? Is Kokomi Farina better than Jean Farina? I mean... If you can... So, like, if you're talking, like, from the context of... I basically never play Kokomi and Farina together. And it's because, like, you need to... If you want team-wide healing, ideally, right, with Farina. To be clear, with C2, Farina, like, matters much less. But still, if you want the team to not be fragile, even with C2, you still want team-wide healing. And you have to on-field Kokomi, right? And, like... Sometimes that just, like, doesn't make sense in a lot of Farina teams, right? Like, you can't just, like, do double Hydro, Kokomi, Farina and just be like, yep, I can do whatever I want with the rest of the team. Because, like, of Kokomi's field time requirements, potentially. And... Oh, it was an instructor's feather, right? Or flower, I think. Yeah. So... Why is the chest icon still here? I think if I reload the area, the chest will come back. Probably not. So, anyways, Kokomi Farina, right, is something that can work really well in some contexts. Let's say like mono hydro, right? I use that in the recent account fixing video, doing Kokomi, Farina, Yelan, Kazuha, right? In that context, right, since Kokomi can be your team's healer, and she can be on field, Kazuha is a lot better for an animal unit than Jean. But if you're doing mono hydro where you wanted to on field a different hydro unit, right? I don't know, like let's say you're doing Farina, Yelan, and you want to on field friggin' Mualani. Let's use Mualani as the example, right? You want to do Farina, Yelan, Mualani, right? Mualani obviously would want to be on field in that team. It would be the smartest option. And then you want a healer. So in that context, you use Jean, right? Because Jean will give you VV and Jean will be your team-wide healer, right? Easy. So that's kind of what I would say is the important factor there. Or like Nuvilet Monohydra or something. Nuvilet. Well, actually, Nuvilet Monohydra wouldn't really make sense because you would just, to buff Nuvilet more, you would want to swap like Yelan to a non-Hydra unit, but use. Yeah, I don't know, does that make sense? So, there's not that many situations that I think it actually makes sense to use Kokomi with Farina. That's like the main thing that people seem to like not understand about Siegewind. Like, last week I think I typed out a response to someone who's like, I literally saw someone say in a Genshin Leaks thread on the subreddit that Siegewind, they replied to someone else saying, like, that was saying, no, Siegewind's actually like not that bad. She's actually pretty good. And then some dumbass replied to them and was like, Siegewind has one team. And I was like, what do you mean? What the actual do you mean Siegewind has one team, right? Because if your consideration of one team is 2-unit teams, then yes, I guess Siegewind has one team because the main teammate that makes sense with Siegewind is Farina, right? Like Siegewind is entirely made around Farina. But like with Farina, right, we want team-wide healers, and yeah, team-wide healing, good. That's the ideal. And when you look at the Hydra healers in the game, Kokomi, Barbara, and Siegewind, right? Barbara has the problem of like there's no benefit to doing double Hydra with Farina with Barbara because Barbara doesn't generate energy, so you don't get like Farina gets no benefit from double Hydra other than just the Hydra resonance, right? So like that's not great. And then Kokomi has the problem of and then Barbara's energy needs itself are annoying if you want to burst consistently. And then Kokomi, again, like I just talked about, Kokomi takes field time if you want to. Like the Kokomi-Farina combo is not very good. And also, Kokomi is generating energy over time versus Siegewind generates energy right away when her skill first hits. So, like, Siegewind's a much better energy battery for Farina at a baseline. Is a team-wide healer that works completely off-field. Do not need to on-field your healer to get team-wide healing. Is a better battery for Farina, which is better for reducing Farina's ER needs, which are high, and you want to burst consistently on its character. So you can easily funnel, you can generate the particles on Siegewind and then funnel them to Farina. You can even do like Sackbow on her, and you would get even more energy that you funnel to Farina. Like, I'm pretty sure it's possible to the lowest ER double hydro core you can probably have with Farina is probably a Sackbow Siegewind, if you can afford the extra field time of doing 2 E's on Siegewind, generating like 9 hydro particles that you funnel to Farina is ridiculous. But yeah, like the person did not say what team they were thinking of when they said Farina or when they said Siegewind only has one team. But it's like, I don't know what freaking team they were thinking of, right? And I didn't actually leave this response because I just didn't want to feel like I didn't want to argue with an idiot, right, on Reddit. So I just like typed out a response and then just didn't actually hit the submit button. But like, right, like she is the best. Like this is the best double the Hydro healer for Farina. And that's before we even talk about her buff, right? And the fact that she gives a flat damage bonus to skill damage. Like, it's limited number of instances, but it's still a decent damage increase that will make your Farina hit some meaningfully higher damage numbers. On top of it, the indirect damage increase from her energy needs being substantially lower. Like, double Hydro core of Farina Siegewind, yeah, it's half of a team, and then you can do freaking whatever the heck else you want with it, right? That's the actual number of literal possible teams you have for Siegewind then, if you consider Siegewind to be tied to Farina, which I think is a fair assessment of Siegewind's kit, is I I think what it would be. I think it would be how many characters? How many? There's like 85 characters in Genshin, right? So I'm pretty sure it's like 83 factorial times 82 factorial. Is that correct? I might be wrong. I don't know the exact math. Point is, like, if you're literally talking about this is basically Siege Queen's team is a 2-unit core, and then you can do whatever else you want. Technically, if you're talking about the total possible number of teams, since that is the main consideration, she has 83 factorial times 82 factorial teams, which is a lot. Let's see if the Microsoft calculator even can do that. I haven't actually tried to do factorials on Microsoft's calculator. Can you? Let's find out. Let's do live math. Yay. No, that's the wrong thing. Bam. There we go. It's 83 choose 2, is it? Okay, let's just... Yeah, the people have this misconception that a character isn't a DPS. They're bad. Well, the funniest thing is, like, Siege Queen literally has a Nuvei charge attack in her burst. And, like, people describe it as a Nuvei charge attack, and they're like, she's bad. What? Like, wait. A support has a Nuvei charge attack? A Nuvei C1 charge attack. Well, okay. Sorry, Nuvei C1 charge attack is incorrect, because that implies it would do Nuvei C1 damage. Like, it's not easy to get her to do Nuvei charge attack level damage, but you can. So, okay, well, I don't know, whatever. Just we'll just do 83 factorial alone, anyways. Where's the? Okay, wait. Is there no fact? No, there it is. Bam. Just 83 factorial alone, without properly doing this. Oh, it's just 83 times 82. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm bad at probability, and you know I haven't done actual good probability thing math in a while. Forgive me. If it's just 83 times 82, still a large number. There you go. There's the correct number. Yeah, okay. Factorial is a nonsense. Yeah. Factorial is not correct. There's not 8 quadrillion teams. 6,800 in Siege Queen teams. Slightly more than 1. Bam. Yeah, they didn't say team archetype. They said, bro, she only has 1 team. Like, what are you talking about? How does a supportive healing unit have 1 team? And, like, I think it's perfectly fine that this character doesn't apply that much Hydro either. Because, like, if her strength is her team-wide healing and buffing utility, like, she shouldn't be applying as much Hydro as Kokomi. We didn't, like, what? We just wanted her to be Kokomi power creep? Like, come on. She has a short field time DPS window potential and more buffing potential than Kokomi. Like, I don't know, like, not saying you need to get her or anything, but I can tell you I'm going to be using Shizun a lot more often than I use Farina. Or sorry, not than I use Farina. Than I use Kokomi, right? Because, like, I don't know, Kokomi just doesn't have that much relevance in the current state of the game for a lot of teams, I feel like. It's very rare where I feel like, oh, I need that extra Hydra application from her skill. Alright. Can she still full heal on a burst damage build? Okay. Like, my confusion with this is, like, people still consider, like, oh, if you're building her for damage, she's not healing or buffing. Like, you're playing her with Farina. If you're playing her with Farina, what do you use for on-field damage dealing? You use MH. And if you get a bunch of crit from MH, you can do things like non-crit circlets, right? And you can sacrifice a little bit of her damage potential for more buffing with an HP, right? Like, it'd be kind of choose what your balance is. Do you want more buffing, more HP, or do you want more personal damage on Siege Queen, right? Like, I don't get why I see people doing non-MH builds on DPS Siege Queen, personally. Unless you're, like, to be clear, it could make sense to do non-MH builds on DPS Siege Queen if your goal is to do Siege Queen in a team, DPS Siege Queen in a team without Farina, right? I'm not saying you can't do DPS Siege Queen without Farina. But, like, this is literally a universal build for her. Like, I made a DPS Siege Queen video, and I have left her on this build permanently because she works on this build permanently, right? And to be clear, the weapon that you have, like, if you have Aqua or not, will be a meaningful difference maker to the experience of her damage. quite significantly, especially with MH. I'm pretty sure Aqua is better than her signature weapon because of the fact that MH exists and you pair her with Freenet anyways. So, I don't know, anyways, whatever. Oh yeah, and I've kept her level 8 too. It's not like, oh my god, it's because you're seeing much better damage because you crowned her burst. Like, no, I could ground her burst, but I'd rather save my resources for other characters. It's not that valuable. So, yeah, I don't get what they were doing with their bow, to be honest. Like, her bow makes sense in the context of not MH, right? But MH, like, what her bow does is, like, you can do two-piece builds, like 2-piece HP, 2-piece. You can still do the hybrid build. You can do the same style of thing. But her bow giving so much HP means you can, like, do HP main stat here. Probably still want an HP circlet, but then do a Hydro Goblet, I guess. It would be the like 2-piece HP, 2-piece HP. Actually, maybe you do a crit. I don't know. I think what I would do if I had her bow, then you don't do a MH build. Instead, you do HP main stat, timepiece, probably HP Goblet still, just for buff. Because it's not that much worse for her damage compared to Hydro. And then do a crit circlet, do a crit damage circlet with her bow. And then the bow itself is giving like MH crit rate passive, and they're doing 2-piece HP, 2-piece HP, right? And that would be the alternative, right? But anyways, the bow options you have, like if you have Aqua or not, notably, will significantly affect the experience of trying to do meaningful like Nuvilat charge attack damage on her, because her weapon options for maximizing her burst damage are not amazing. I would say. Like, I don't know. What do you even do? Like yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think she has great options that aren't her signature or Aqua, most realistically. Aqua is the one that more people are likely to have, but anywho's. That's her real problem as far as her damage playstyles, that she doesn't have great weapon options. Like, most weapons just don't do anything relevant for their passive or for like her damage focused playstyle. EM is not relevant. But you can still like do, to be clear, I think what's yeah, like this is, yeah, it's recurve bow that gives HP or slingshot, but what would really matter is if there was a 4-star crit damage bow. I feel like. And I mean, there is the Blacklift, right? That'd be interesting to test. I don't have it. I know there's a 3-star HP bow. That's the one I was just showing. I don't know what is this gives like 45% crit damage, right? What am I having a stroke? No, okay, it's not even in the shop. But yeah, the Blacklift bow I think gives like no, it's 55 crit damage, right? Just as a crit static with MH, it's possible that Blacklift might be better, but I don't know. Recurve might still be better, right? Doing recurve on MH instead of Blacklift, but I don't know. I don't have it leveled up to properly test it. No, not Royal Bow R5. Definitely not Royal Bow R5. I think Farina gives raw damage bonus, not elemental. Yes, she gives universal damage bonus. Got all the things over here. Is there a context when you're well, oh my god. I don't know what I think when I just talked, I just like swallowed my spit. Give me a second. What just happened? Wow. Okay. Just, yeah, I'm allergic to thought, I think. True. I think that's what happened. It didn't, I don't think it like went down my throat, so I'm not like hacking. Like, it's not that, but I think it like I think I had some like spit that like touched my throat, and my body was just like or something like that. But anyways, the Royal Weapon series. One of the interesting things, like I don't know, maybe I should try to just get them. Hey, this is a reason I should. I need more star glitter if I wanted to do this though. I should maybe consider trying to get them over time, because I think the interesting thing you could do, right, is no crit builds. The royal weapons, I think, are less relevant the more invested your build is. But I think they're more relevant the less invested your build is. Like, the Blackcliff weapons are so bad. The Blackcliff weapons are so bad. Like, if attack percent is a relevant main stat for your no. If attack percent is a relevant main stat for your unit, and you don't have a heavily invested build, right? Like, you're just doing like what I did with the no crit Arlecchino video. Like, no crit Arlecchino with Royal Spear versus the other weapon I did would probably be better, right? Because it just gives you a chance to actually crit when you wouldn't have had really any before, in a build like that. So when you crit, you lose crit. It's not like, again, like that's why, like, again, as a high investment build, like when you're from the context of when you're critting 70% of the time, that would mean most of the time you're getting nothing from this passive, right? That's the context from wherein most people evaluate these weapons from and consider them bad. Like, obviously, yes, when you're critting pretty consistently, they're pretty dang bad. But again, like consider a build like I had on my Arlecchino, right? Before, I don't have the artifacts anymore, but right, consider the build I did in my Arlecchino in the no crit Arlecchino video, wherein it was the extreme of like the low, like having the right main stats on your artifacts, but having no relevant crit sub stats. Like, you just got that unlucky, but you had like mostly the right main stats, except for like I only had like an attack percent circular, right? So I was doing 4-piece gladiator. I had attack percent timepiece, pyro goblet, attack percent circlet. No crit sub stats, like those, the entire gimmick, right? And then I was using this weapon, which, so the difference between like this weapon, I don't know what the, let me go double check quick. Royal Spear, what is it at level 90? I think it's the same. No, it's higher. Okay, so it's higher base attack, lower attack percent on Royal Spear. So ultimately the same difference. But then it gives the crit instead of like this attack percent and EM. Is this better than a Royal Spear or worse? I am not 100% sure, but in the context of a build that has 5% crit rate, right? Has your baseline crit rate. When you're not critting consistently, what Royal Spear could do is make you start to crit somewhat consistently on a build that otherwise wouldn't be critting that consistently. That, I believe, is the idea. That's probably what they intended the Royal Weapons to be completely honest, is like a weapon for doing, like, I honestly, I would get a Royal Spear right now and like try to test this if I didn't throw away the artifacts. I already threw away the artifacts, unfortunately. I maybe should have kept them, but I really needed I needed the XP to like level up other things that I wanted to do. So, and I still want more artifacts and XP. Like, anyways, like I'm never gonna be able to freaking on this account. Like, I have too many artifacts to level. Like, I'm never gonna be able to fodder artifacts for this stupid new thing, whatever. So yeah, I don't know, right? Like that video show that there are contexts wherein you can make use out of not having a bunch of crit on your builds and still have a functional character. Is it still like, yeah, that's really only going to work probably on like, as far as like 36 starring like I was, when your character is a really strong character like Arlecchino? Maybe, yes, but that's not the point. The point was more that the character can do meaningful damage still, right? Like, your character is still having, like, has a good amount of stats on their equipment that is contributing to their damage output. So I don't know. Mathematically, if the crit rate has the most value on royal weapons, when you balance it so that you are gaining value from the crit to get some crits from it, but not just never, right? So you don't put it on an invested build, you use it on a low investment build. I don't know. It would be interesting. I guess I'll add it to my video idea list. I don't know if it's ever going to happen because like this would require getting a bunch of copies of royal weapons, but you know, royal weapons video, low invest builds. This would be like the extreme version of the concept testing this idea would be using royal weapons on all the characters that are relevant to build for crit in a team. Do no crit Arlecchino build, right, with royal spear, but then all other teammates. So in the Arlecchino team, like no one's relevant to have crit on other than Arlecchino, but like the other team was like I was using that Arlecchino video. I think was Farina, Siegewind, Fischl, something. Like it was an electric charge team for the second half. So I could have put royal bow on Fischl, royal, or actually the royal. They're kind of okay. Farina's the HP scaler. Yeah. That was a problem, obviously, is like the attack percent isn't relevant on HP scalers, but anyways. I don't know, I think I could make a context, right, where I could do a video where any of the characters, the weapons do give relevant stats on where attack percent is a relevant stat for them. I could do low investment builds like no crit Arlecchino, but on all of the characters on the team that it makes sense to do on, and show it like still working, right? I don't know. Anyways, what am I doing here? Come on, give it a try. Oh, I see. I think I have to like hit this, right? Yeah, okay. And then hit that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okie dokie. You're waiting for Kaya constellations. How many Kaya constellations do you have? Because you might be waiting a long time if you want C6. Yeah, like them putting like the way they did 4 stars in the Chronicle banner was one of the best things about the Chronicle banner that nobody talked about. I wish they did them even slightly better than they did them, but still, limiting the 4 stars to being like Mondstadt characters was a really cool gimmick for the Chronicle banner. I sincerely wish they actually did the Chronicle banner more, so that was even more relevant, right? Like, I don't know, whatever. Give it a go. I'm just doing all garlands, I guess. Yeah, the shop should definitely have more 4 stars. About that they haven't updated the shop. They haven't updated the shop literally at all, I think, since the launch of the game, as far as I understand. So, you know. Thanks, Mihoyo. Making good use of your in-game mechanisms. So many things in Genshin that they just like have good foundational structures for, and then they just completely don't utilize. It's honestly this game in a nutshell in many ways. Wow, your underlying combat framework is actually freaking amazing and like innovative in a lot of ways. And then you just don't do anything with it. You don't actually give players meaningful reasons to engage with your things that you designed. Oh, you made a shop? Oh, we're not gonna do anything with the shop. Like, it's Genshin in a nutshell. Designing things and then not even meaningfully tapping into the potential of the things they design. Next time for Kaya and shop, I don't know. If you Google Paimon's bargain shop rotation, you should find the Genshin Impact like fandom website that has the rotation, I think. I don't remember what it is exactly. If I recall, the standard banner characters will be... I don't know which one is which, but if I recall, the standard banner characters will be in the shop October, November, and December. But I don't know which one is which. Wait, it says the chest is down below. Wait. June and December for Kaya. Nice. Is this team feel good to play? I mean, Dia is here because overworld, I guess. Where's this chest, man? Is there like an underground area over here that I access? Yeah, I tested this team earlier. You probably weren't in the stream then. With double geo instead, and it still works well with double geo as long as you pay attention to the. Make sure you Bennett E if you need to for the extra burning up time. Okay. It still says it's below me, even more. What is this? Haven't I already done this quest? Isn't this part of the quest, or is it just because I never interacted with it before? Okay. Okay. I don't know where this is. I really have no idea where this is. October's Amber. Okay. So Amber and October. Oh wait, sweet. That means I can do a C4 Amber video soon. Soon, TM. Hopefully I'll not forget to plan for that. I look forward to that. Cause when I did a C2 Amber video, it was fun, but it had a problem of like you shot the bunny and then you did nothing. You shot the rabbit and then you were done. Having an additional skill to shoot the rabbit again, I think, is a bit more fun. So, yeah, Lisa November then. Okay, I have no freaking clue where this shop, is. Yeah, I don't know where the Dapata is. I don't see any way to get underground that I know of. I don't remember having a problem with this on my Polearm account. Like, I got all the chests on my Polearm account. You're gonna build quad Vape Amber. Yeah, I mean well, okay. The ideal would actually be doing Melt Amber, just for the more fun teams. Realistically, Vape is probably stronger, but well, I don't know. Vape might still be stronger than Melt just because Freena exists. So you know, it'll probably be just the simple. Like they need to release more cryo characters that can actually make doing Melt like by all means doing Melt Amber. Forward Melt Amber, melting her like Baron Bunny explosion hits with C2 and then C4 doing that twice should be better than doing Vaporize because Melt has higher base scaling, right? But they don't want to release cryo units in the game that actually do relevant supportive things. So, like I'm pretty sure Farina, because of the damage bonus she gives and the fact that like I can do Marsh, let's say Hunters on Amber, is just substantially better than doing anything with Melt, right? Even though Melt has higher base scaling, and that's kind of stupid. Like this is like Mihoyo has actively designed things in the game to make cryo not relevant. Like, come on. It should be more relevant to do Melt in context where you can forward Melt, where you have lower pyro application. And therefore you don't need whatever. So Melt Amber is a decent DPS, so you can do 400, 300k Baron Bunny hits, but Farina's probably better still. It's still probably better to do Farina. like because of Farina's damage bonus, because of Farina being an off-field damage dealer, right? Like just whatever. Of course, there's the healer factor that is important, but yeah. Anyways, I'm pretty sure like just doing Farina, Seijuin, Amber, Kazuha is better, right? You do like Amber Burst, Swirl Pyro. Right, you do Farina EQ into Amber Burst, Swirl Pyro, obviously Seijuin in there, wherever. And switch to Amber, do her Baron Bunny, aim at it, shoot it, bam, do Baron Bunny again with C4, aim at it, shoot at it, bam, right? And it should be easy to play, pretty consistent. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that'd be better. I'll probably test it out. I'll probably test out Melt Amber with C4 versus non-Melt Amber. But Mihoyo just does not want to release cryo units that do relevant things. And it makes me sad. Because, like, cryo should be able to do more interesting things than it does. Is Amber God in Virgin? No, definitely not. Amber is going to be one of the worst units possible for Virgin. Coolest Amber thing I've seen is Singcho vaping 4 times inside Amber Burst. Yeah, that's true. That is still, even with C4. C4, C2 is just fun DPS Amber things, right? But Amber's main relevant supportive potential is definitely still her front-loaded pyro application. There are definitely things you can do with that, like vaping Singcho. I believe what they're talking about is doing like Singcho on Sack Sword and getting triple or getting vapes on both of Singcho's hits, which are pretty high multiplier. What? Oh, no, I didn't see that one. That took a while. Consider making a Kale video. She hits hard on the Emily set. Does she? I don't remember what her multipliers look like. Where's the lady? Do I have C? I do have C6. Nice. I haven't looked at her kit in a while. What? Oop. Are you sure? Are you sure? I don't know if you have different definition of hits hard. Again, Kale is Dender Amber, quite frankly. Which is, you know, thematic, lore-wise, whatever. Like, her main value is front-loaded Dender application in her burst, which can be relevant in some instances. There is uses for it, just relatively rare. And she suffers from Dendro Traveler Exists syndrome, so, you know. ER off-field, wow. This is what? Okay, Sidewinder change the flooring. Okay, passive talent. This. Okay, one of your party members triggers Dender reaction, grants the character a sprout effect, which will continuously deal Dender damage for 3 seconds. Okay, tiny bit of Dender damage. So it's replaced by the same thing, but also has this addition. Okay, so this top section is the same. From the moment of using Floral Brush to the moment when this instance Sprout effect ends, if any of your target triggers, the Sprout effect will be extended by 3 seconds. Sprout effect can be triggered or extended this way once. Another Sprout effect is triggered during this initial animation. Okay, removed. It's considered elemental skill damage. Okay. So that's after using her. Yeah, I was just double checking, make sure it was after using her skill. That's what I thought. So use her skill, and you get 6 seconds of 40% damage ticks. Although I love this is a typical Mihoyo, by the way. I know, like, there's basically no character kits in the game where, like, they'll have things like this effect happens for X amount of time. How often does it hit? Is this 40% 10 times per second? Because 40% 10 times per second is a lot of damage. It's not, obviously. But is it 40% once every 2 seconds for 3? I'm going to assume it's probably once per second, right? So functionally, this is an addition. C2 is an additional 120% of her attack damage, which is but if it's hitting every 0.25 seconds, then it potentially is, you know, an additional 420% damage, right? So yeah, it's like I don't know exactly, because Mihoyo refuses to say how often this actually hits. They're just saying it hits for an amount of time, but not how often it actually hits, right? So team-wide EM buff is cool. Those are relatively rare. 60 EM buff is not that crazy, but yeah, and also doesn't buff herself, which is okay. Thanks. Creates a thing that deals 200% of her damage. Okay. I mean, okay. You can only create one of these, so like it can't trigger multiple times in AoE situations. I don't think her raw damage output will ever make sense unless you're doing spread, basically. Now you can get potential meaningful damage from her spreads on her burst. So do burst what you normally do with her. Use her for her burst, and then, you know, if you spec her into crit, she will trigger some decent spread damage, but nothing insane. So, does Shunyun have a fixed number of plunges? Yeah, 8. Oh, someone already said that. Oh, was I slandering girlies? I wasn't trying to slander her. I'm just saying, like, she doesn't. Kale doesn't do much in her kit that's relevant compared to the other things we have, and I don't think Kale with an Emily team will do anything. Is there ever a reason to use her? I mean, I think some people use her in Nilu teams. Like, I do think like people speedrunning with Nilu teams sometimes use her just for that front-loaded Dender that I was talking about, right? Because she can potentially generate enough extra dendro that you can get more bloom cores out or whatever faster. That could enable you theoretically to clear a little bit faster. But it's definitely not good for sustained damage output over time compared to Dendro Traveler, right? So, I don't even know that is the exact, like, I don't even know if the Nilu Context is the best one, for an example. That's what I recall or something. So, yeah. Nilu teams, basically, maybe, is my general impression. Oh, yes, need to do the thing over here. Where is it? Oh, it's the sign. I see. Pile of stones under the tree in my backyard. Okay, I can handle that. Joy. Do. I'm gonna call it also suffers from the fact that Yayo exists. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. Wow. Tower in the southwest of the city. I think I might have already gotten that. Well, maybe not. Jesus, there's more here than I thought there was. Than I thought I had. What's over here? That's up. Okay. Well. Okay, I guess we're climbing. I feel like the skill gets good application with Sakpo. And I like her more than DMC. I think you're in a rarity group, but that's good. Like, you don't get much more Dendro application from it other than in, like, AoE situations, potentially. Like, her skill is interesting. It's a rather unique skill in the game because it's, you know, a weird boomerang effect that you could potentially purposely abuse the timing of when it hits, maybe to get extra Dendro application out. I don't know. Like with good play, it might be possible to get a consistent 2 instances of application from one skill use out. And then if you're using Sakpo, you might be able to get like 4 instances of Dendro application out. So again, like, is there value to the front loaded Dendro, right? She doesn't have nothing in her kit that does interesting things. So okay, I guess we'll go up here. Who can I use instead of Emily for Kanich? Shugling, Bennett, Farina. Why? You know, one thing the number one thing I think I dislike the most about Navia, is how they managed to like balance Navia perfectly to make her feel like she has a gun that doesn't have much range. And you can be like, oh, it's because it's a shotgun, it spreads out. Except for it also feels like she doesn't have much spread. So like it's a shotgun that doesn't feel like a shotgun. And it's a gun that doesn't have much range. Like I actually... Like, man, Shivers does such a better job at feeling like she actually has a gun. Like it feels like a gun ability. Navia's ability does not feel like a gun. It just feels like she just like spills a bunch of rocks on people. Quite frankly. So, anyways, need a bow character. Oh, well, goodbye his energy, whatever. Gotta be flashy, I guess. Shivers is better with guns. Yep, indeed. Yeah, it's one of those things like it's the most notable thing in how like she doesn't have very good AoE. Doesn't have good range, right? So it like Sethos is a better AoE character as far as doing things in AoE than Navia does. Despite the fact that she has a gun, like I don't know. Guns, the thing that can be good and strong about guns and why people are scared of them is they do things from a distance. And this lady does F all from a distance. Like she's actually a melee range unit, right? It's like, So, I don't know. It's the number one thing I kind of like dislike about how they designed her. Other than that, I really like Navi's kit. It's just why she have a gun that no do range damage, right? A cannon. This cannon's the same thing. Cannon is just a big fat gun. Like a cannon can like explain like the lack of like meaningful spread on or the fact that her attacks are more spread out or whatever, and like why some of her bullets might not hit. Like that causes some variability in her damage output, is whether or not all those little bullets hit. That's interesting. Like that's fine. But like a cannon is a more powerful gun. It means to shoot farther. She doesn't just like what like she's in this weird awkward middle ground of nonsense reality where like it's high powered, it makes an explosion sound, but doesn't go very far. Like, why doesn't it go very far? They could have just like made it at least go far, but she had some like damage fall off or something, right? I don't know. Instead it just goes like about 4 inches. It's a shotgun. It's not. I've shot real shotguns before. It's not a shotgun. It's a shit ass shotgun. It's a shotgun made by a toy maker. Yeah, Fortnite shotgun. Oh, it's one of these ones. No, I forgot. Okay, these puzzles are so stupid. Like I have to wait for this. I have to keep on whacking on it until the stupid yellow goes away. Okay, there we go. It's a video game shotgun. Yeah, but it feels like shit. That's my point. Like guns shouldn't feel like crap in games. It doesn't do gun things. It doesn't do range. Like, what gun shoots literally 2 steps ahead of you? I can't even see because I can't zoom out far enough here, but like, there we go. It looks like it goes so much farther than it does. That's the problem. What is this? Oh, I have to whack on this. Is there something else I have to do here? It's a precious chest. I assume there's something more complicated here. No? I think I need more, right? Anyways. Point is, they've done guns that feel good to use. And this gun doesn't feel good to use. That's all. Why didn't she actually have any range? That's the most minor gripe I have about an obvious kit. Otherwise, good kit. Doesn't ultimately matter. It just it's a range ability that doesn't do range. I think it's dumb. If you're gonna make her throw rocks, just make her throw rocks instead. Oh, I have to find the freaking things. Good. Hello. Hello. Let's see, where's the last one? No? Really? Where is he? I don't think it's that one, right? Because this is out of range. Yeah. Am I blind? Where's the last one? Causal banner makes you sad? I mean, yeah. Oh, frick. Okay, that's out of range. Alright, well, shit. Which one was I missing? The yellow one? I think I was missing the yellow one. Where's the other one? Right, there we go. What? It's not getting stuck. Ah, I see. I see. You have to talk to the red one twice? No, I don't. I don't think I did. Okay. More power over here. So I think this is... Let's see if I got this one. No, I did not. Okay. What? Oh, I wasn't listening to it. Sorry. I was looking at chat. I didn't read the thing. Follow the sound of the bell. Okay. Easy enough. I don't know. I don't like that camera movement there. Yay. Oh wait, oh, this is a pattern one. Yeah. I know. I can count. Sometimes. I don't understand in this why they have the gimmick of I have to like press T to make these lines connect. It's just weirdly clunky. Yoink. Alright. Xiangling Xinyan, and it's Xiangling Xinyan, the new Geo 4-star. Yeah. Or no, it's not Xiangling, it's Bennett. Xiangling is not rerunning again. It's Bennett, Xinyan, and Kachina is on Mulan and Kazuo's banner. Okie dokie. There's 2 more things over here. Great. It's all the way up there, isn't it? Okay. Frick. Well, second. How do I get up there easily? Like this. Solution. Kachina is free, yes. She is literally free in the Archon quest. But I just heard a chest appear. Okay. Was it this one? I have no idea. Also, did I jump down and without thinking about what I was doing? Is she good? Her artifact set is good. Kachina is an artifact set in the character, quite frankly, for the vast majority of players. I will be trying to DPS her, but her damage output is just not that meaningful, realistically. Like it just like does you can keep her level 1. Equip artifacts on her that are also not leveled, and she will be useful for the situation she makes sense in, right? Because you only care about the set bonus being triggered, and the only reason to level her, realistically, is to just make it so that she doesn't die when you like switch to her and she gets hit by an enemy or something. That's the only reason to level her. Sadly, because they just decided to make her kit do not that much relevance otherwise. But like, not that it'll be impossible to see some big numbers on her. Wait, I needed to go up top there. Whatever. Whatever. Sit with you, I think. Yeah. Yay. Beautiful, isn't it? You're just looking out at like water and cubes, dude. But you do you. Looking at a glass of ice water is what gets you going. Who am I to judge? Is she just a Navia support that invalidates my Chiori pulling plans? I mean, if you're planning to pull for Chiori just for Navia, then kind of yes. Because the amount of buffing she does for a Navia team, like giving 40% pyro bonus, Geo Resonance, a little bit of energy for Navia, not necessarily a ton, but you know, Geo Resonance, energy, 40% Geo bonus, and 40% like pyro bonus for your Xiangling is potentially significant. Enough that from what I understand, I need to get up higher, which is, I think, this waypoint. Is significant enough to be better than Chiori, I think. But Chiori would diversify the team's damage. And it's also possible that depending on the build you have in Chiori, it might still outperform. Right? So, yeah. And again, like Kachina, as far as like an investment level goes, Kachina would definitely be smarter because doesn't require pulling for a 5-star and does something similar for team damage output. Also doesn't even require leveling her. Like, that is a benefit. It is a benefit that you don't have to level her. But it's also simultaneously lame in some ways that her kit doesn't do enough of relevance to make it worth leveling her. right? But I'll still probably level her anyways. Because on a baseline, she's a defense scaling geo unit that can do some buffing. And I think it's fun to... It'll be fun to see if I can get some meaningful damage out of her, but I don't know how much I meaningfully invest in her. Like, I'll probably level her to 70. And then play around with her. And if she's fun enough, I will level her to 80 and maybe make a video out of her. I'm trying to DPS her. I might make a video DPSing her regardless. We'll see. Yeah, I'll probably make a video DPSing her regardless, just because I guess she's a free character. I should probably make a video about doing DPS Kachina. It's at least interesting that she's a full defense scaling unit, but at C0, not much damage output, and at C6, and her constellations are just relevant for improving her damage output, basically. And at C6, she becomes barely better. Like, to be clear, I think C6 probably, not necessarily on its own, but I think all the constellations probably at least double her damage output. But, you know, the 2 times 0 is still 0. Oh my god, dang it. Wait, oh, this is the annoying one that's sneaky and hidden. I don't remember where it is. I think I'm gonna ignore this one then. So, like, 2 times 0 is 0. So, like, I don't think her constellations are very worthwhile. And not that she's doing 0 damage, right? I'm just saying, like, it's the same thing of, like, if she's doing 2 damage and doubling your damage from 2, like, doubling damage sounds good, except doubling from 2 is just an additional 2 damage, right? When your Navia is doing 8,000. Doubling 8,000 is an additional 8,000 damage. Doubling 2 is an additional 2 damage, right? So, yeah. Are you factoring in the new Natlan support set? The new Natlan support set doesn't increase her damage, like, past, like, what it does at a baseline. Like, yes, I'm factoring in the Natlan support set, because that's what she does that's relevant. The Natlan support set is what's relevant about her. Find the moles. Like that doesn't change with her constellations. It's just her constellations add more instances of damage. Basically. Notably her C6. Her C2 extends her duration a little bit. Her C2 might increase her energy generation. I don't know exactly if it will very often. Like, it might give her, like, 1 more energy particle. It's not really relevant. But yeah, C1 is just energy restoration. So, improving her damage by reducing her energy needs. Because, like, she has interesting AoE damage potential. Like, in situations, like, where they throw 6 enemies at once, like she has a sizable enough AoE when you burst on her specifically that, like, if you're against, like, these Vishaps over here, right, it'd be fun. It'll be fun against the Vishaps kind of thing. But yeah, and then C4 is a defense buff for any active character in the field, which is, and it's not a very significant defense buff because it's dependent on how many opponents are within the field, and then the active character also has to be within the field, and if there's only 1 opponent, it's an 8% defense buff. Wow. And then C6 is her notable constellation for her damage, which is, it gives you an additional instance of defense scaling damage when your active character's shield is replaced or destroyed for any reason, which can trigger once every 5 seconds. So theoretically that can trigger, you know, 4 times in a rotation, and that basically can double her damage output. Because that's about what she can do at a baseline. And I don't think it's worth building extra energy. I don't know. I don't think it's worth building extra energy on her because I think her energy units are too high. Even for her like DPS playstyle, I think. But I'll have to mess around with it a little bit. Do we need ER for her to use the Natlan set? Nope. You do not. Just need to... Her ER can help for her AoE, though. Which could technically help. Like, it wouldn't necessarily be bad to build ER, but realistically, just turn her into a full support. You put a crit rate circlet on her and give her Fab. And then give her a leveled up flower so that she doesn't die. And then, you know, give her, if you want, give her a leveled up defense percent main stat piece, so she also still doesn't die. Like, her damage is very much not that relevant to spec into realistically, unless you just want to for fun, right? Oh my god, there's so many things here. If her ER needs weren't like terrible, I think she'd be a much more interesting character to actually spec into damage. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be possible to get her to do damage. She'll be fun to do damage with. I want to emphasize that. But there's not much reason to actually do it. Is all it really comes down to. MiHoYo decided that they did not want this character to be relevant for her damage dealing. They only wanted her to be relevant for the buff she gives, which is all in the artifact set passive being triggered. It requires like no actual building into her stats. So it makes her a very accessible buffer, and that's actually a good thing. I think she's a good character because of that. Particularly being that she's free. If she wasn't free, she'd be much less relevant. The fact that she is makes her quite relevant. Her being a zero investment unit for buffing your team is a significant relevant factor. Especially for the newer you are of a player. Oh, this is complete the bridge. I see. That seems like the wrong thing. Hello? Why is this? Okay, there we go. 4-star Hydro win. Yeah, indeed. I don't know. I will bet you that they're gonna release. They'll do a Hydro Claymore eventually, and they're gonna be garbage. Because they'll probably be a 4-star. We'll see though. I don't think any new Hydro 4-star they release in the game would realistically be that good, because Sigcho already exists. Could they do something good? But yeah, I don't know. I still think Siegewin would have been a much more valuable character to the player base if she was a 4-star. Like literally just remove her buff and remove her damage, which is the most fun things about her, in my opinion, and most interesting things about her kit. But just have her be a Hydro healer that applies a small amount of healing, or Hydro. Like, she's not that relevant for Hydro application, but she could have been still like a good energy battery and team-wide healer for Farina. So remove the interesting things about Siegewin's kit and turn her into a 4-star, and suddenly this character is a meaningful, like really significant value addition to many players. So, is Candace good? If Saint Cho didn't exist, people would think Candace was great. Just saying. I don't know exactly what I have to do here. I think you just have to build this up to be tall or something. Candace suffers from she was never going to be designed like Xingqiu. Why would they do that? Why would they're not going to design another 4-star to be Xingqiu, right? Please? Why? Can I not go higher? No, okay. Weird. Candace is good, but she released almost 2 years ago. Indeed. So it's only had like 3 banners, I think, in 2 years. If I recall. Or am I wrong? Has she had more than 3 banners? She definitely hasn't gotten many reruns because, you know, that's what happens when they make under-tuned 4-stars. I love Candace's kit. I still think she has one of the most interesting kits in the game, to be clear. I wish the game was better at giving us reasons to do things with infusions and whatever stuff, but that, I assume. That. But she's definitely a bit undertuned. And I've maintained my perspective that they completely effed her by not putting her C6 in her base kit. Meanwhile, Xiangling has 7,000 banners. I mean, yeah, because they're gonna rerun the characters that are better more. Like, they need to rerun the characters that are better more. Would you really rather live in the reality wherein, like, all the players, there's more actual need for people to have Xiangling than there is actual need for people to have Candace, right? We don't want the reality where Candace has 7,900 banners, and we have no banners for Xiangling, when Xiangling is, like, one of the more desirable copies of characters to get at least a few copies of, like, constellations from, right? So, you know. I do think they should rerun a number of 4 stars more, like Candace, so that people can, like, get her C6 and maybe actually have a chance of appreciating that she has an interesting kit that is worth using in some situations. Or at the very least more viable than you might expect. Yeah, you can turn around. You have to talk with someone. What? Am I not done? I feel like I had this problem on Polearms Only, I can't remember. Oh, where was it? I saw a dialogue interaction. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think as far as rerunning goes, the most egregious character as far as 4 stars that hasn't reran is definitely Chivrous. Like, she has a lot of relevance to a lot of players, and they just haven't rerun her. That is a dick move. I should have checked if there's anything else. Nope. Okay, good. How long am I streaming? 3 hours, 40 minutes. I didn't even realize it's been like an hour since I came over here. Well, okay. Or not this area specifically, just Simulanka or whatever, I think. It just goes to show that Simulanka's an enjoyable vibe area to just explore around in, I suppose. What? Did I just get frozen? Thank you. What am I doing this? Oh. Insert it in the fish, I guess. Yoink. Well. Crazy. Alright, try to finish this island. I think that might be the stream. Chivrous is getting rerun next patch. I mean, I'd like to assume that. She should be getting rerun next patch. But also, would it be that surprising if Mihoyo didn't? Right? Like, what are their total dicks and they rerun Chivrous? Like, Chivrous is going to gain, almost assured is going to gain meaningfully higher value, especially if the Pyro Archon is in a team-wide... The Pyro Archon is a team-wide attack buffer and does not require circle impact for attack buffing, right? And does Pyro application off-field. Holy, the Chivrous synergy, right? Like, because a problem a lot of people might feel with Chivrous teams is feeling forced to use Bennett. I don't use Bennett in a lot of the Chivrous teams I play, because I enjoy how Chivrous teams feel to play without Bennett. And they still perform quite well. But if you could have a attack buffer still and an off-field damage, like, oh my, right? Like, you get the point. There's only, I need 2 more moles. I only found 1. Oops. So my point is they could be total dicks. Mihoyo could absolutely be total dicks and, like, rerun Chivrous when the Pyro Archon is running or something, which would be awful because that would mean, like, Chivrous isn't getting a reran into like a year after initial banner. But they've done it before. But they've done it before for less relevant 4 stars, so I sincerely hope they don't do that. It's a relatively safe guess that Chivrous is rerunning with Raiden if you want Chivrous. Plan on, you know, trying to get a copy, you know, maybe. With the... She is one of the 4 stars, especially since she's relevant at C0. So one of the 4 stars that's worth potentially risking wishing a little bit for a C0 copy of, in my opinion. if you have, to be clear, it's assuming you have like relevant other like Shivers on her own isn't gonna magically give you insane output, but in conjunction with other things can be quite significant. Wait, isn't this one of the moles? Did I just not interact with them or something? Yeah, okay, God dang it. So yeah, hopefully Shivers is rerunning soon. It's been too long. And assuming she is rerunning, I will. There's a chance I end up with getting Kanich. I don't think I'm gonna make a what does like X amount of dollars get you on Kanich's banner video, but I might end up wishing on Kanich banner for Shivers constellations. So I'd rather get Kanich than get Raiden. Well, okay, to be clear, if I wasn't making content that I use Hybrid Raiden in, I would actually prefer Raiden C2 over Kanich, but Kanich would be more interesting on a content level. I wouldn't mind having him, but I don't think I'm going to go to pity for him unless I need to go to pity for him when trying to get the last 2 Shivers constellations I need for C6. So, we'll see. I'd like to see Hazo on banners. Yeah, they should have rerun freaking Hazo on like Mualani's banner instead of Xinyan or whatever. Like Xinyan is like, okay, sure. Like technically Xinyan does have some potential use with Mualani, but like, come on. Very few people would be upset about Xinyan getting a rerun once every 2 years. But also, again, they could just solve this problem by like they could solve their 4-star rerun problem by like including like making the undesirable 4 stars acquirable just in the shop, right? They just make it so there's like a freaking 10 different characters we can buy per month in the shop or something, right? I don't know, and then don't limit it to 1 copy too. Ugh. Like they have ways they could fix the 4-star problem, and they just don't want to. So, anywho's, you know, whatever. They're giving a free 5-star though. Everything's forgiven. No, no, no. And they have not addressed my core complaints with the game. So, sorry, I'm still gonna complain because I want the game to be better. There's a reason why some people just use all-star glitter for wishes. Yeah, the only reason I'm not using all of mine on my main account is because I want to save some for the standard banner characters. Or the I always say standard banner characters. The free characters. I mean, they are standard banner characters. That's why I guess that is not a Kaya, Amber, Lisa, right? But anyways. Okay. Good progress, I guess, this stream. On my main account. Actually, no, wait. Progress for what? What am I saying? I can't even speak. I wasn't even trying to progress anything other than just, like, complete Simulanka. But, like, that implies, like, I had a goal of completing the entirety of Simulanka, and I don't really care about... I don't really care about completing the entirety of Simulanka on my main account. It's fine. I don't need the last 100 Primo Gems. I'll survive. Anyways. Yeah. So... Yep, I don't know if I'm gonna stream any more the rest of this week on the weekdays. I'll probably do at least 1 stream in the weekend. Maybe I will if I'm in the mood on Thursday or Friday. Main reason is I just want to focus on the account fixing video I'm gonna make this week. It's one that I think might take a little bit more time and effort, so I want to give it more time and effort. Crazy idea that, but you know, Shenhao is rotting indeed. I don't get it. Yeah, I think it literally would have made more sense to put Toma on Emily's banner and then put Xiangling on his banner, probably, but, you know, whatever. Maybe Toma will get reran with Kinich or something. We'll see. Calling them standard banner characters is fair. Yeah, they are technically the only characters that are only available on standard banner. So it is fair, I guess. Alright, anyways, thank you for joining. The stream was not what I originally intended it to be, as I titled and changed it at the beginning. I really would have liked to actually do theater, but man, Mihoyo managed to immediately kill my motivation as soon as I was like, oh, I don't actually have enough characters, even though I farmed it, because oops, Barbara's one of them. So dumb. It's so stupid. I hate how they... I really hate how they design theaters restrictions. Like, you don't even actually need to use them. You just have to do it to start it. Stupid. Anyways, bye-bye. Maybe we'll stream later this week. Otherwise, probably this weekend. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.